is all about moments. Big moments, small moments, and those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by 28 Tastes and Taps, Beaupre Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Big Time Bistro, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, North Country Sportswear, First Western Bank and Trust, and Arbo Photography.
Hi, my name is Dr. Becky Domries, and I am a chiropractor here in Minot, North Dakota. My main focus here at Premier Chiropractic is prenatal and pediatrics. A lot of people aren't sure if their children will, sit still for the exam or for the adjustment, and really, the exam is super simple. In the kids, we are checking posture, of course, joint movement, or injuries they might have had that is restricting movement. For the newborn or infant, we are checking the spine, as well as tongue function and reflexes, digestive function, cranial shape, or anything that might lead to issues later. Adjustments are gentle, and I'm almost always giving parents or the kids exercises to work on at home. A lot of people bring their kid into the office because there's an issue or something going on with the child, and then find out that it's great for growth and development. There are many benefits to chiropractic care during pregnancy. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we have a table that opens to accommodate the growing belly. The visit usually includes adjusting, taping, and exercises, all done to help support the area and provide strength. It is a passion of mine to provide care to pregnant moms, babies, and kiddos. So if you haven't established a chiropractor for your child, we would love you to give us a try.
Deontay Martinez, he controls it, works it back away here to Eric Wentz. Dished off to the set now from the corner. Deontay Martinez for three. And Deontay hits from downtown. Martinez dished it off to Michael Ross. Ross works it back up top. The open look from Argent for three, and he hits from downtown. Gavin Argent, the 6'3" senior, ties the ball game at a pair of 15s. Back up top, Michael Ross crashing and banging his way to his first 2 points of the ball game. Wilcox with the basketball. Worked it up to Michael Ross. Ross puts it up off the glass today, and Michael Ross has two more. Michael Ross again. Makes a move, cuts towards the rack, puts it up and in. Michael Ross has six now as the Magi tie it at 21. Slows it up, gives it off to Deontay Martinez. Little jump shot, nothing but net for Deontay. Talk about a highlight reel player. Deontay Martinez is putting on a clinic here tonight at Magic City campus.
If you told me 10 years ago I'd be a dad, homeowner, and business partner, I wouldn't have believed it. There's lots of reasons I chose First Western.
Hey Lloyd, how are you today?
Locally owned, community invested, convenient, but most of all, whatever I need, wherever I am, I can count on them.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Sheldon working on an odd angle shot, cut the blocker. And now Walrick out to center. It's a 2-on-1. Back in the other way. Here's the Beavers. Sent across the drive. They scored. Oh, my goodness. How about that play? It's set up by Carter Barley. Rounded in front of the net. And no doubt about it, put it past the goaltender Brower for Davis Sheldon's 9th of the year.
Good patience by Barley, slide the puck right under the stick. Definitely when you have these kind of opportunities in these kind of games, you gotta capitalize, and that's exactly what they just did.
Nick Doyle's out to center. Dropped it back off to Cochran. Now Doyle's hit in front. Oh, they scored! Right in front. And a give and go play. Bing, bang, boom. The Beavers are on the board again. And that time it was perfectly executed and finished off by Rhett Locke for his 8th of the year. The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot. The final 2 weeks of North Dakota high school hockey are boiling down to be a great one, an epic one. An absolute war lined up tonight, and home ice is on the line in these final 2 weeks as Minot High takes on Bottineau tonight at the Pepsi Rink here at Mesa Arena. Good evening and welcome into the Planet Pizza pregame show. Planet Pizza, the area's ultimate party location for school parties, team parties, birthday parties, and so much more. They truly are out of this world. They can be reached tonight at 701-852-1700. Planet Pizza open tomorrow as well for a lunch buffet from 11 to 2. If you haven't tried their Blue Buffalo Pizza, I highly recommend it. Nick Holberg alongside of Matt Morelli for the call tonight here on the PSP Network as we get geared up and ready for what should be an absolute war tonight. The Magicians on their home ice, number 2 in the WDA. They're 10-2 inside the West region. Only losses come to Century and Jamestown. On the other side of the ice tonight, number 5 in the West, it's the Bottineau Rugby Braves. 6-6 for them on the season, but boy, do they have some talent, and they are a good hockey team. The last time these two teams played, it was 2-1. We'll bring in our broadcast partner, Mr. Matt Morelli, now as we get geared up and ready for the show here tonight. To Matt, this is an old school rivalry and one that really has a lot of implications of how things are going to start the playoffs with that home ice advantage on the line. What do you expect out of this matchup here tonight?
Well, I think Bottineau's going to want to start off. They want to come out of the gate quick and set a pace to themselves. They're the road team. There's no pressure on them. And kind of like Minot going up to Bottineau last time, it seems like it was just a couple weeks ago when it was the first broadcast of the year. So Bottineau's going to want to, I think, play physical. They want to get pucks on the net, take every advantage of every chance they get. They're going to use their top guys. Are going to see a lot of ice time. They always do, and whether they're tired or not, they're going to play a lot.
Bottineau comes off of a big win against Bismarck High. They shut them out 2-0. This is a Braves team that you have to go back in the record books all the way back to 2009 and 10, the Cody Milliken era, to go and see when the last time that the Braves beat Bismarck High was. They have some momentum off of that coming in. Do you think that plays a factor tonight, knowing that they've got hot goaltending and Ian Amsbaugh, Rosendahl up front, and they just took down one of the giants of the WDA and the Bismarck High Demons?
Well, I think the confidence is going to be there for them. Anytime you're beating Bismarck, High or Century, then you go into another big West Region battle like Minot. That's great for their confidence. They're coming in here, like I said, nothing to lose for Bottineau. They want to try to improve their seeding. Minot is probably going to come right down that last game where Bottineau, these points are probably even more important for them because with that different format this year, and that higher seed gets at home. Nobody wants to go to the Lumberdome that first game and have to play them.
Absolutely. For the Magi on the other side, a 10-2 hockey team here in 2021. The Magi come off of back-to-back wins and victories where they didn't give up a goal. They also shut out Bismarck High. That was 3-0 against the Demons at Bismarck High. And then last week back in Mandan where they shut out Leif Manson's crew 2-0 in Mandan the other night. For Minot High, your thoughts on how they're rolling right now? Have we seen the best of the Magicians yet, do you think? Or are they not yet hit their stride, even though they've won back-to-back games without allowing a goal?
Well, I think they're playing better than they were even though you take that loss against Century that was right before the 2 wins, they've got to start doing the little things probably a little bit better. I'd say they're get into good habits. Now you're winding down. You only got a handful of games left. Now it's really time to. They can't be having those little miscues and bad passes and coming out of your zone and you're making bad passes. They're just these teams. You got guys like Amsbaugh and those top forwards, Rosendahl and Olsen and those guys. They'll make you pay. I don't care if we're at home or not. That really has nothing to do with these games. Minot's going to have to just don't get too high on yourself saying you won 2 in a row, because Bottineau doesn't care about that. They've got their momentum going on their own. So Minot's going to have to say, let's just take it a period at a time, win each period, do the little things right like they've done in the past, blocking shots, shipping the pucks high off the glass. Because if you start having troubles in your own zone, you can't rely on Trey to save every one of them. And he's been playing pretty good. We just need steady play out of Trey. And it starts with Trey, and it just moves on down the line.
It's going to be a fun one tonight, nevertheless. It usually is when the Magi and the Braves from Bottineau get together. Should be a fun one here on the PSP Network. Magi number 2 in the West, the Braves number 5 in the West region. When we come back, we're going to go through all the stats and standings across North Dakota. Then we'll come back and talk to both coaches as we get geared up for tonight's WDA Tilt here on the PSP Network. Don't go anywhere. We're scheduled for a war tonight for 51 minutes here from the Pepsi Ring.
Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
2-1 the last time these two teams played. Tonight they match up again, and both teams fighting for home ice advantage in the postseason. Nick Colberg and Matt Morelli for the call on the PSP Network, as Minot High will be at home tonight in their home whites, taking on Bottineau and the Road Purples. Planet Pizza brings you the pregame show. Planet Pizza proudly serving the Magic City for over 20 years. If you haven't tried the Blue Buffalo Pizza, we highly recommend it. They will deliver tonight, 701-852-1700. Time to dive into this matchup a little bit further here tonight to take a look at the stats and standings around North Dakota. Let's start with the standings in the West. Brought to you by Magic City Inspections, a locally owned company committed to providing exceptional inspection services to ensure that you're ready to take the next step in your home ownership. Find them online at minotinspections.com. Well, the way that this is shaping up right now, there's plenty of scenarios of where teams are going to fall into place when it's all said and done. For the Magicians, let's start here. They're a team that can either finish first, second, third, or fourth in the West region. If they win out, the worst they could finish is the number 2 spot. Here's the standings right now, how they line up. Jamestown's number 1. They have 32 points out of the year and 13 games played. Minot has a game in hand and the tiebreaker in that series that they split on the year. Minot number 2 in the West, 29 points for them. They've got a 10-2 mark on the season. Century is number 3. But Century's only played 10 games. They've got 24 points out of the year. Minot High needs Century to drop one of their next 4, and Minot High needs to win out if they want to win a West Region Championship for the second year in a row. The Demons from Bismarck, currently number 4 right now in the West, 22 points for them on the season, 18 points for Bottineau Rugby, number 5 on the year. And Bottineau Rugby's got a big one here tonight with Minot High, and then a 6-point matchup with Century at the Lumberdome next week. That one is going to be a nail-biter all across the state. All eyes will be locked on that one, we can almost promise you. Williston number 6, they got shellacked last night by Jamestown 7-1. And the Coyotes with 18 points out of the year in their defense. They were on the shelf for a while due to some COVID issues, I do believe. They were not practicing for about 2 weeks, it sounded like. They're back at it last night. Didn't go their way in Jamestown. Mandan's number 7 with a 3-10 record. Dickinson 2-10 on the year. They're number 8. Hazen-Beulah 0-12 on the season. Those standings, brought to you by Magic City Inspections. Let's move on down to the state's top producers, brought to you by the UPS store located on South Broadway inside the Marketplace Plaza. They're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 7, and Saturdays, 8:30 to 3. The UPS store for all your packing and shipping needs in the state of North Dakota. Braden Panzer and Chase Spicer, Joey Kennelly, all from Grand Forks Central in the top 4 in scoring. 36 for Panzer, 35 for Spicer. Kennelly has 34. Jamestown's Jace Thompson's number 3 in the state in scoring. He's got 35. And Nolan Niedow, the sophomore, has 31 on that Thompson line. Jamestown's the real deal. They're good. Ian Amsbaugh, number 6 in North Dakota, 27 points for him on the year, followed by Kirkaby from Fargo South Shadley with 23, Braden Jacobson from West Fargo with 23, Bartz from North with 22, and Satram from Mayville Portland with 22. Those are the only players in the West that are in the top 10. 2 from Jamestown, 1 from Bottineau. Nobody in this game tonight from Minot High in the top 10. Riley Opru dropping down to number 26 in the state in scoring. Those numbers and those scoring leaders brought to you by the UPS store. Time to take a look at the goaltenders in the state of North Dakota now. They're brought to you by our friends at Tires Plus. When shopping for tires, shop Tires Plus. All brands under one roof with the guaranteed lowest prices and their service after the sale. You can't go wrong with a Tires Plus plan. Zach Sandy from Fargo South Shadley. 95% save percentage for him on the season and a 1.36 goals against average. Colby Elseth from Central, 91% save percentage and a 1.48 goals against average. Then you find Trey Sortland, number 3 in North Dakota, sitting on a 91% save percentage and a 1.75 goals against average. Those numbers for Sortland certainly are fantastic here on the year. Those numbers brought to you again by our friends at Tires Plus, with all brands under one roof with the guaranteed lowest prices. Tyler Olson, the goaltender from Bottineau, however, may be one of the best in the state of North Dakota, Matt. Coming into tonight's matchup, Olson sits on a 91% save percentage and a 3.11 goals against average. He may be one of the tops inside the WDA. He's right up there with Sortland and company. There's plenty of guys in the West that are good, but Tyler Olson's a kid that in his last 4 games, he's only given up 3 goals. And this is a player that comes into tonight with a shutout against Bismarck High in his last matchup. He goes with Sortland tonight. It's going to be a fun matchup tonight to see those 2 goaltenders. How big do they both need to be here tonight in your mind?
Well, it's going to, like we've said in the past, one guy can really carry a team, and that's usually your goaltender. You know, a forward or defenseman, you can pair up those guys and shut them down with matchups and checking lines. But if you get a hot goaltender, that guy can single-handedly keep you in the game or win the game. If a guy's hot and he's feeling good out there and the puck looks big to him, and you know, you get that confidence of a goaltender. Those goalies are different. You're one. It's such a strange mentality for a goalie. It's kind of like the pitcher. If he's having a real good game, maybe don't talk to him too much. Just let him be. Goalies are similar in that fashion, where you just kind of let them. They all have quirky ways, and you can think whatever you want about them. Those guys, they need some attention. You tap them on the pads after some big saves, and like we've said, you make the routine saves. That's the ones they expect you to make. But the coaches, they'll say, listen, we need you to come up with a couple big ones that you might not necessarily make. But if you're playing against Minot, the Bottineau, all the games are important. But when you start to really get down to only a couple games left, and Bottineau, like I said, Minot doesn't say they're important for both sides. So it's going to be tight. I think it'll be, Nick. I think it'll be just like it was in Bottineau, where we figured it would be a pretty tight game. It ended up being I think it was 2-1 when we were up there. So I have a feeling it's going to be a little more high scoring than that tonight. But either way, those goalies are such a big part of the game. You can throw out their records and their save percentages. Those guys are up for that game. Bottineau's so close. These are like a mini state championship for when Bottineau comes to mind. You're playing a big school. You're in a bigger rink, nice rink, where Bottineau has that advantage at home, where it's tough to play. It's tough to win at the Lumber Dome. But if Minot wants to do something here and make a run, they got to be that where it's hard to beat Minot at home. That's what Minot, I think, wants to. That's the tone they've got to set. Like we were saying earlier in the year against some of the other teams, you're playing physical. When Minot wants to play the body and finish their checks, they're as solid as any team out there. But putting that together for a full 51 minutes, that's another story. Are they going to have a few minutes of some average play? Sure, every team does. But you want to keep it to a couple minutes, and that's it. You don't want to have long stretches of bad play. And I think Minot, like they did we've been pretty good lately, staying out of the penalty box. You're taking those undisciplined penalties. You just can't do that against teams that have forwards that can put the puck in the net.
It's going to be a dogfight tonight. We expect it to be. It's advertised that way. It was the last time, and tonight it's going to be a fun one. It's the Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena here at Minot, North Dakota. We get geared up and ready for North Dakota high school hockey tonight. Once again, it's Minot High, number 2 of the West region, taking on the Bottineau Braves, number 5 in the West. And we get geared up for the opening face-off. But first, we'll talk to the Minot High co-head coach, Mr. Jason Bennett. We'll talk to Bottineau's coach first, Jesse Nostal. In his second year, coach's comments come up when we return. It's North Dakota high school hockey here on the PSP Network.
30-inch galactic pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag at Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
Life is all about moments. Big moments. Small moments. And those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
Pregame show. We're now joined by the Bottineau Rugby Braves head coach, Mr. Jesse Nostal, here in his second year. Coach, first of all, thanks for some time here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a big WDA matchup, home ice on the line for both teams. And a team of yours, it comes off of a big win over Bismarck High. Let's start there and go back to a victory against the Demons. Touch on that game just a bit.
You know, we just been playing better hockey. We wanted to really get a balanced attack going, and we've really been building up to this. And we're really thankful we're playing our best hockey right now. And you know, the guys are just gelling, and every day is just a joy to be around them. And we're embracing just any battle that comes our way. So.
I've been saying it all year long that Tyler Olson, in my mind, might be the best goaltender in the WDA, and one that certainly is hanging in there and doing good things for you. Touch on the goaltending situation and how much you rely on that kid each and every night.
You know, he's been here for 5 years. I mean, he's been here longer than a lot of us. He's a super senior, so he's a good kid. He's a big goalie back there that moves well, and he loves the battle and compete, and we're just so thankful he's back there in the pipes for us, and he's having a good year.
4 players with 10-plus points on the club, 5 with 5 goals on the year, and of course the name Ian Amsbaugh is one that's a household name. Touch on Amsbaugh just a little bit. What's that kid like during practice and throughout the week, away from the ice even maybe?
He's just a great kid. I mean, he loves to compete. He loves being around the game. He loves the guys. Hates to lose, and his skill set, and he's just a sticky hockey player. I mean, there's not a lot of guys like him. You go night in and night out watching WDA games. There's not a guy that has his skill set, and so we're glad he's on our side, and what he brings to the team on and off the ice is just unparalleled.
On to business tonight, 10-2 for Minot High, a team that's real good with a pretty loaded roster up front, but a 2-1 score the last time you guys played them. What do you expect out of the Magi tonight? And is there one key in your mind to come out of here with a win?
We hope we can expose a matchup somewhere, but you know, they're like Bismarck High. They just kind of got 3 lines they throw at you, and great defense on the back end. It's hard to squeak by them back there, so we just want to play fast. We want to play efficient. We want to manage the game kind of like we did against Bismarck High, and we know we're going to have to beat these guys at some point if we want to do what we want to do, so we just want to keep building towards that today.
Sure appreciate your time here, Coach, and best of luck tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
That's Jesse Nostal, the head coach of the Bottineau Rugby Braves. When we come back, we'll talk to the Minot High coaching staff as we get geared up for a WDA showdown tonight. Bottineau and Minot High in North Dakota high school hockey.
Systems go for lunch when supper time's a crunch. T-minus now, it's time for Planet Pizza. With lots of space for fun, there's room for everyone. Don't be an alien to Planet Pizza. Space for
Back to the Planet Pizza pregame show. We're now joined by the Minot High co-head coach, Mr. Jason Bennett, here in year number 7 for Minot High Magicians Hockey. First of all, Coach, thanks for some time here tonight.
Yeah, it's great to be back talking. It's great to be back home. It feels like we haven't played at home for about 2 years, but we're back and ready to roll.
This is a big one tonight, and home ice on the line for both teams. And you face a Bottineau team tonight that comes off shutting out Bismarck High, and a team that's got some of the top producers in the state. What do you expect out of tonight's matchup?
I expect to be a good game. It always is against Bottineau. You know, I think up there, first game of the year, which seems like forever ago, it was a pretty tight game. I believe it was 2-1. And it could have went either way. We played pretty well. We just couldn't finish, and that's kind of been our MO here as of late as well. So it'd be nice to score some goals early tonight. We've talked about that in the radio before, and go from there.
Kind of frustrating on last week watching Minot High Amanda, and handful of odd man rushes and opportunities in that hockey game. What do you tell the boys to try to bury some of those grade A opportunities?
Barlin Bailey's Big Top Circus, it looked like. We had 3 on O's. We didn't get a shot on net. We had breakaways, didn't get shot on net. Really goofy. Looked like our sticks were made out of pool noodles. Hopefully that was then. We got the win. When you play bad, sometimes that's it's good enough on the road. But we're getting chances, and you'd be worried as a coach if you weren't getting those chances. Luckily, we still are getting the odd man rushes. We're just keep hammering away at practice and working on it, and eventually some are going to go in.
Talk on Trey Sortland just a little bit. We know how good he is coming in as a all-WDA player and an all-state player, but back-to-back games with Goose Eggs and number 3 right now in the state of North Dakota as far as goals against average is concerned. Your thoughts on what he means to this program?
I think the Century game was I wouldn't say a wake-up call for Trey. He's a kid, have the highest regards for his work ethic. He never complains. He never whines about anything. He works hard in practice every day. He doesn't want out of the net. He didn't play very good in Century, and I think he knew that. We didn't have to tell him that, and he bounced back, and I think he's more focused than he was earlier. It maybe got a little easy for him, earlier in the year, and he's refocused, and he's played wonderful the last 3 games, and, we need him to be good tonight.
We all know how important tonight's game is in home ice, but how much stock do you really put into having that home ice advantage in this new postseason, if you will?
Yeah, it's goofy. Bismarck High just got beat by Bottineau. Jamestown just beat up on Williston pretty good. Century's got, I think, 3 games and 5 nights coming up here against some, high-level competition. Jamestown, Williston, Bismarck High, and up in Bottineau for a 6-pointer. So who knows? I mean, right now, 1 through 6 is wide open. I know if we take care of business and win out, our next 4 hockey games, we're guaranteed at least the 2 seed. That gets you a home game on Tuesday. That gets you a home game on Thursday, and that's the best we can hope for. If we get a little luck and Century maybe drops one, then we win out. We take the 1 seed, and we'd like that too.
Sure, appreciate your time and best of luck here tonight.
All right, great, thanks.
That's Jason Bennett, co-head coach of the Minot High Magicians. When we come back, we'll have our opening face-off. It's the Braves from Bottineau and the Magi from Minot High here tonight on the PSP Network. This presentation of the PSP Network is brought to you by Beaupre Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, the Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, First Western Bank and Trust, the UPS Store, Qdoba, and Arbo Photography.
Pete Stenberg with the in-game announcements as we get geared up and ready. The starting lineups taking place now as tonight Minot High and Bottineau are set and ready for a matchup inside of WDA play. It should be a real good one here tonight. We'll salute our country with the playing of our nation's national anthem here tonight. Then we'll have our opening draw. It's North Dakota High School Hockey here on the PSP Network. God bless our servicemen and women. God bless our veterans. God bless America. Time for tonight's North Dakota High School hockey matchup. Minot High taking on Bottineau here tonight on home ice, and it's a big one. On home ice, Nick Holberg and Matt Morelli for the call. Matt, your closing thoughts on the Planet Pizza pregame show tonight. Is there a key for both teams?
I think each team's going to want to get off to a good start here. It's going to start off with a couple good shifts. Get some pucks on net early, make a few big hits, and be smart and like I said, take advantage. You're going to have some chances. These goalies are both solid. There's not going to be probably any easy ones tonight. So Minot's just got to put everything on net, get some greasy goals. I think Bottineau, same thing. They're going to want to get off to a good start too. They're on the road. Keep it close. If you're Bottineau, you just got to keep it tight. You know those top guys are going to get some chances. It should be a good one.
Should be a great one. 701 Realty brings you the opening draw tonight. Our good friend Andrew Goodmanson checked in tonight from 701 Realty. And as Andrew Goodmanson would say, Bottineau, I know all about Bottineau. I won a marble stacking championship at Lake Metagoshi once. Thanks, Goody, for checking in tonight. That would have been fun to see, wouldn't it?
Whoa, Goody.
Bottineau's in purple. They'll travel from the left to the right. There's Amsbaugh over on the far side. Wing Minot High in their Vegas golds here tonight. They're trimmed out in maroon. Underway at center, and Amsbaugh is going to carry it in and dump it into the linesman on the near side wall. Up to the line it comes. Rybczynski had it, tried to move it forward, then Opperud just shifts it back out to center. Taken by the Braves from Bieberdorf at center. Moved it back in. Here comes Swangstu into the offensive zone. Carried it ahead forward, but it's taken away. Now Amsbaugh's got it again. Crossing came. Jaden Luck's going to have a chance here. He's going to walk down with it. Luck's back in front of the net. Threw it out front. Nobody home. Puck comes back away up to center. Tice will take it and rattle it right back in. Olsen started in goal tonight against Trey Sortland for Minot High School. We'll have those numbers brought to you by Clean Tech at our first stop here tonight. Two of the best in the WDA locking horns tonight in the blue paint on the opposite ends of the ice. Rybczynski and Tiffany on the defensive side. Rosendahl, Lorenz, and Amsbaugh up front for Bottineau. That's how they started tonight. Bone break and Opperud on the back end for the Magi. They went with Swangstu, Field, and Morelli. They got the call tonight at the start here at the Pepsi Raycap Mesa Arena. Puck's going to be dumped back in behind the net. On the retrieve for the Braves, this is Bieberdorf back in behind. Sent it on the near wall up to Colton Getzloff. Team high, 10 goals on the year for Getzloff. The young man, only a sophomore. Puck's going to be taken and rifled all the way down the length of the ice. Icing waved off on the play. And back to retrieve as Gabe Thong fed in his own territory. Up to center and came off of Luck. Comes back into the possession here. Matt Olsen's going to turn the burners on and fire that one down in behind Sortland, who's out of the net to play it. Back away it comes on the far side. Bassett out for the Magi. Bassett moves it away to the near side over to Jake Tice. He goes high up off the glass, and the zone exits there for the Magi as Rybczynski moves it right back in. We'll talk to Rybczynski's father, the head coach of the Dakota College at Bottineau Lumberjacks in our first intermission tonight. Lumberjacks are having a heck of a year. They knocked off Jamestown, a Division I team of the ACHA a few weeks back. They've been on a little bit of a hot streak. They gave Minot State a pretty good run about a week ago as well. We'll talk to the head coach, Travis Rybczynski, at the break here tonight in intermission number 1. Opperud skidded it into the zone, taken there. It's worked ahead forward by Lane Tiffany and a stop in the play. Here's those goaltender numbers as promised, brought to you by our friends at Clean Tech. Get COVID-19 deep cleaning services for your home or business with Clean Tech LLC. Don't forget about CleanTech's 24/7 disaster response and restoration services as well. CleanTechLLC.us. CleanTech coming to the rescue since 1992. Tyler Olson's 4-5 in his senior campaign with a .311 goals against average and a 91% save percentage. Trey Sortland's got a 91% as well, but a .175 goals against. Casey Fields and sent it down with a backhand. He sent it wide. Sortland, by the way, is 9-2 in his senior campaign. Trey is an all-state and all-WDA selection. Comes into tonight's game. We don't want to jinx him by saying the word that resembles not giving up a goal in his last 2 games. Both goaltenders come into tonight 51 minutes consecutively at least, and then sub without goals against. Bottineau didn't give up a goal against Bismarck High. Neither did Minot. Minot shut out Mandan as well. There, I just said it. Now the cat's out of the bag. 13:39 left. There's an icing. Thoughts on the tempo early on tonight here, Matt?
Not a couple bad shifts for Minot. They've got to get tougher on those draws in their own end. Face-offs are such a big part in your own end, and they're going to match lines. I mean, the coaches, they know that. Your Amsbaugh's line comes out, it's going to be probably Morelli's line. They kind of have to match up. They're going to have a good tight checking. Jaden Luck's line had a nice shift last shift. They're jumping. He was kind of out there for a while, but they applied some good pressure. That's a good start for Minot.
Luck's in on the draw. He goes against Olson there, and Luck's going to win it. Takes it back in behind the net. He's going to work on from Gretzky's office. Back up top it comes, off to Tice. Shuffled it in, high stick on the Magi. It's going to be taken and worked back out to center now as Tice is going to put up the wall at the red line, and Tice will bring it back ahead forward. Here comes Jaden Luck. Speaking of all WDA, he walks and fires, and Olson makes the stop. He'll hang on to it.
Minot's had a couple nice chances so far. Field had a nice opportunity, but boy, you got to make those count. I think you kind of went to deke and fanned on it, but you don't get many of those. We've had a couple high sticks here. Come on, you guys. Keep your sticks below your shoulders. You can't be having high sticks like that. You get a whistle, it's going to come all the way back to our zone.
Puck handled here by the Magi. No, it's not. It's going to be a loose puck scrum at center. Back with it goes Knudsen, and now Luck's going to turn the burners on. He's back in. And Jaden Luck's flying a bit here tonight. Takes it down underneath the net, shuffled up off the wall. Back up to Tice at the point, sent it in. That one into the glove of Tyler Olson. And the faceoff coming back on the Bottineau netminder's glove side.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that whistle if you're Bottineau. Olson knows if you're getting some peppered a little bit. Don't take any chance. Just get a whistle and get a different line out there. We're kind of Bottineau's throwing it out to the point, and Maya's taking a couple point shots, and we've got to take advantage of these shots, get them on net. A little lower though.
In on the draw. Faceoff is going to be taken there by Esslinger. Line number 3, if you will, out for the Magi with Bissett to the far wall. He shuffled it down. It's going to come back away now over to the far side wing, and a loose puck battle. One back up to the point. Bradley fired one towards the net. Knocked down there. The Braves trying to clear on the far wing. Going to work on it is Mason Heisler. He pushes it ahead forward into the offensive zone. Shriver's going to skate it down, and an icing will be charged on the plate of Bottineau. It's brought to you by our friends at Arbo Photography, the leader in game photo coverage and senior pictures. The proof is in the gallery. Find Arbo Photography on Facebook and Instagram or online at arbophotography.com.
Might have got a little bit of a break there. They've got to watch that guy flying out of the zone. Don't let the forwards get behind you. Play it safe. Just be the safety man. Just chip it back off the wall and let the forwards do their job.
Bonebrink taken there. He shuffles it down. Taken by the Braves. They push back to center. Operud's got it again. Down to Bonebrink on the near side. Dumped down in to the zone. It went off of Lane Tiffany. Tiffany's going to move it up off the glass. He had the lone goal for Bottineau in the matchup between these two teams at the Lumberdome. Puck's pushed ahead forward. It's going to come all the way in on Sortland. Goes through the blue paint, so icing's waved off right back out in front. Nobody home there. And Bottineau tried to hold the zone with Amsbaugh. They do, but now it's Riley Operud up to center. Operud moved it ahead forward. Comes back away to Swags to center slot. Taking ahead forward up to center ice, and now Amsbaugh's going to turn the burners on. He moves it into the zone, makes a fancy move. Now another drops it off. How about this play? In a drive. Oh, Sortland comes up huge as that play was generated by one of the state's top producers in Amsbaugh. And Landon Rosendahl almost had his 19th of the year.
You can say Maya's guilty of puck watching there. Just man on man. There's no talk out there. Two or three guys going after Amsbaugh, the puck carrier. You're leaving two guys open. That was almost a 2-on-0. So Maya's got to get with it a little bit and have their communication got to sharpen up a little bit here.
Ian Absbaugh is fun to watch. He led the state in scoring last year in his junior campaign. He scored 65 points last year. That was the tops in the entire state of North Dakota. Not a bad year in his junior campaign. Into the zone they come. They bring it down with Isaiah Thogfen. He's down to the corner. By the way, Luke Absbaugh from Bottineau back in 2015. He scored 65 points and led the state of North Dakota. Luke Absbaugh and Ian Absbaugh certainly go down to the record books of the state for North Dakota high school hockey as two of the best that will ever come through the program in Bottineau and across the state as two of the best to ever play the game. Isaiah Thogfen back and behind. Look how puck rolls right out in front of Tyler Olson. Down to the pillows, makes the stop, but it's scoreless here with 11:02 left in the first.
I might have got a little lucky there. That probably should have been an icing. But for some reason they waved it off. I don't think the Bottineau defenseman didn't skate hard enough after it. But Minot's just got to be a little more crisp on their passing. Don't allow that stretch pass. Bottineau's going to try that a lot tonight.
Well, you heard it from their head coach, Jesse Dostal, here in his second season as the head coach of the Braves, talking about how they're going to try to find that weakness and capitalize on maybe a mismatch here tonight if they have the opportunity. This top line for Bottineau, one of the tops of the entire state. How much so? Well, on the year, the Braves have done a great job on the season. They've scored 44 goals on the year compared to the 39 that they've given up. Ironically enough, in tonight's matchup, how many of the Magi scored? 44. Both teams are eerily similar on paper. Bradley at the near sideline, worked it back. Hall's gonna walk, fires on. Olsen made a nice stop there. Taken out from Esslinger, thrown across. Comes back away up to the point, off of Hall. At the line for Tice, shuffles it in. And now they go to work again as Morelli's tripped up in front, no call the play. Fields gonna come back in with it. Casey Fields sends it out in front, that one hit traffic. Back up to Tice at the line. Tice will shuffle it in. Puck's going to be worked back up to the blue line. Offsides on the Magi. Under 10 to play in the first. It's still scoreless on the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard.
Well, not a bad pace. I mean, Minot's definitely had a little bit more pressure offensively, but that's what you want to do. Keep that going. Where Bottineau, they're just trying to get it out of their zones. They're going to be looking for that long pass or just chip it off the wall and find that breaking forward.
Olsen back in behind the net, touted there by Morelli. Puck's going to come underneath the goal line. Field going to work on it. Now Swangstu on the wall, trying to shuffle it down. Absbaugh trying to clear it out. Swangstu's got it back. Center slot. Swangstu's going to be roughed up on the play. No call there. Comes back away to Absbaugh. And Absbaugh on the near side wing comes out to Field from behind the net. Wraps it around. Shoots. Oh! He scored! Casey Field puts one on the board. His 8th of the year. That's a team high, point number 12, and it's 1-0 Magicians.
Well, I think that's a little bit of redemption for ref missed a call on that one. That was an obvious hook on Swangstu in the slot there, so I'm not sure what they were watching on that one, but mine makes up for it. Pops one in there, so that's a good start. Good momentum for Minot.
Well, Casey Fields got his team high 8th of the year. Let's listen in as Pete Stenberg.
An English state goal has been scored at 7 minutes and 41 seconds of period number 1 by skater number 6, Casey Bell. Unassisted, that's Bell. Unassisted at 7:41.
Back in come the Braves. Here's a high riser. That one up from Absbaugh. He sent it over the glove of Trey Sortland. Casey Field, an unassisted goal for his 8th of the season. He came into tonight's matchup tied with Riley Oprud with 7 goals on the year. That's a team high coming in. And Field now up to 12 points on the year. He's now behind Oprud, Aiden Morelli. He's in front of Ben Swangstu now with that goal here tonight. And he's one back behind Jaden Luck. He's in good company with the Magi at the top of that list for scores for the Magicians here in 2021. Luck up to Knudsen. Into the zone they come. Now Thogfen's got it. He makes a move. He's going to bring it towards the side of the net. Underneath it comes and around it. It's going to be pinned in there by Gabe Thogfen. Up to Isaiah Thogfen, who covered at the point. And out with it, here come the Braves into the offensive zone. Over the line, taken by Colton Getzlaff. He's going to be tattooed. Still got it down and behind Sortland. 8:22 left here In period one, First International Bank and Trust scoreboard reading 1-0. Devin Blaine has got the arm in the air. And the first power play of the night will belong to the Bottineau Braves with 8:16 left in the first.
Well, if you're Minot, you want that physical play, but you got to know when to lay off. You're by the boards there. If the puck is too far from the player, they're going to probably call that every time. So, I mean, kind of a bad break for Minot, but it's one of those things where you just got to be smart. So now it looks like it's coincidentals. So in Minot's case, they caught a break there.
Faceoff's going to come down on the blocker side of Trey Sortland. And back in behind the net it comes, where it's going to be pushed around to the near side. We skate 5-on-5. Up to the line it came. Bieberdorf out at neutral with it. Now it's going to come into the possession of Field, who's got one tonight. Spins it back away. Field hits the brakes inside the blue line. Now it's going to be shuffled all the way down. Amsbaugh a foot race against Opperud. Here they come down. Amsbaugh's going to win that race. Takes it behind the net. Opperud got it back from him. Puck comes back away down to Casey Field, far side. Underneath the net it comes. Opperud got it back away. Look out. Wrap around from Amsbaugh's side of the cage. Oh, and Ian Amsbaugh knocking on the door, looking for his 28th of the year.
That whole play started back in the Bottineau end where your Field, you got to get that puck deep. And he's not the only one. But you don't have a play along the boards. You got to get it deep in the corner. You end up giving the puck up. It goes shoots out in the center ice, and they take over and get transition the game. You got to be a little bit smarter than that. You got to just make a smart play. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just put it down deep in the corner.
Puck's going to come away on the near side wing. It's going to be shuffled up with the pitchfork out to center. Rolls back into Bottineau territory. Now the retrieve back in behind is Lane Tiffany. One of the freshmen on this team for Bottineau. There's only two of them that are in the varsity lineup, Tiffany and Getzloff. And those are two players for Bottineau that have really emerged here, done a nice job in this 2021 campaign. Puck comes back into Minot High territory, but it's the Magicians that break it out to center. Up comes Isaiah Thogfett. He'll skate it down, fire that one towards the net. Luck's got inside of the cage. Oh, what a play there. Rybczynski got the stick in the way of that one, and then fired it out to center. The assistant captain for the Braves stopped it for being 2-0 Minot High with 6:55 left here in the first. Hail Mary pass up through center, comes all the way down past Landon Rosendahl. In the corner it came, worked back away underneath the net. Amsbaugh's got it side of the cage. Here's Amsbaugh going to work. Bowbrank rode him off the play. Freed down to Bassett. Amsbaugh's back in with it though. Toe drag, he was picked off there. Nice play by Bonebreak. And up to center come the Magi. Hall's going to skate in with it. He turns it right out in front. Here's a drive, a save, rebound. Oh, what a stop. Tyler Olson coming up huge. Back-to-back opportunities. I'm telling you, I think that kid's in the conversation for the top goaltender in the West region. And he comes up with a couple nice ones there.
Minot's had some nice chances. Just those are the ones you just need to capitalize on. You're not going to get chances like that very often. So the more, I mean, great play, nice pass over, but we've just got to start burying some of those.
In on the draw, Morelli will step in here against Amsbaugh. Faceoff's one back to Bonebreak, up at the point. Shuffled it down, away from Field in front of the net. Puck's going to be taken back away over on the far side by Matt Olson. Olson trying to clear the zone, comes to Opperud, sent it down to the corner. Field, who's got the lone goal tonight, he scored at 7:41 of the first period. The lone goal to report, an unassisted tally. Tipped in front. Morelli tried to put that one through the 5-hole, and Olson shut the door. Field's underneath the net. Now Amsbaugh again. Flips this one up to center. Opperud knocked it down, and here comes Riley Opperud, the All-Stater, back in. Amsbaugh took it from him. Casey Field ends up with it. Spins it. Taken away now by Morelli. Fired on it again. The stop was made. Here from Olson, his 9th save of the hockey game.
Great shift by Minot's top line, applying pressure here. That's what we need. Keep the pressure on.
Puck's going to be pushed up to the line. Bonebreak's got it. He's going to fire it back around in behind the net. Minot High's going to go off for a change. Opperud and Bonebreak on the back end stay out as the Magi get a wholesale change up front. The Magicians tonight without a couple key players up on the front end, by the way. Didn't discuss it in the pregame show, but they're without Hauser tonight. And without Zach Deal, they're out without Brock Jones as well, who saw varsity action last week. Sounds like Deal Edhauser again day to day. Deal got roughed up against Mandad, one of the key centermen here for the Magi in this 2021 campaign, excuse me. Puck comes back away down to Thogfett. Had his pocket picked. Spun up the wall and down it comes. And Schreiber sends it down for an icing, brought to you by the UPS store. Open Monday through Saturday, located in the Marketplace Plaza on South Broadway.
Well, if you remind that, like we were saying, get the puck behind their defenseman, wear them down, keep dumping it in. Those certain guys are going to be playing a lot for Bottineau, so why not keep the pressure on? That's when the mistakes happen. That's what your Minot wants. We're definitely getting more shots than they are.
Flipped up to center, goes off of Thogfett. Pressure applied there by Getzlaff. He got it into the zone. Puck comes back away now by Knudsen. Fired up to center. Shuffled across into the zone. They come with Mason Heisler. Heisler on the year, 7 points for him, 1 goal on the season. Icing on the Magicians, 4:24 left to the first. 1-0 Minot High on top. Your thoughts on this Bottineau team? It's really impressive what they've been able to do again here this season with the lowest number of enrollment in the WDA and one of the teams that keeps producing some of the top players.
They always have skilled guys every year. It just seems like it's the same. They go in kind of streaks there, but they're having a little trouble in their own zone, so they're just going to throw it off the wall and see if they can get that breaking forward coming out of the zone. Minot's definitely applying more shots, you can see in the shot total. But if you're Minot, let's not have these icings. I mean, you're making a couple bad passes. If you don't have a play, regroup maybe. Find your trailing defenseman for that outlet pass. I don't think Minot uses that enough, and it seems like Minot's just got to sharpen up on a couple of the things in their own end because the bulk of the play has been in Bottineau's zone.
Shots officially on the board are 9-2. That 9 hasn't moved. After a few of those saves from Olsen, I believe he's got 11, according to my count, on the board here tonight. Nevertheless, officially 9-2 inside the Pepsi rink. Here comes Morelli. He's into the zone. Morelli goes to work, spins it away in the corner. Work back up to field, tipped in front. Oh, waffle board save, loose in front of the net. Here's a backhanded drive. Olsen comes out big. And again, Tyler Olsen shutting the door. And a conversation on the side of the cage with Morelli having a conversation there with Landon Rosendahl.
Well, I mean, if you're Minot, this is their go-to line right now. They've got to take advantage of these chances. They're definitely applying more pressure. You know, Minot coaches are going to run these guys hard tonight, just like Bottineau. They've got to match up against Amsbaugh's line, and that we wouldn't expect anything different.
Puck's worked around the far wall. Bonebrake's going to hold it in. Now it's shuffled out to center off of Alex Lorenz. 7 points for the sophomore on the year, Alex Lorenz. That Lorenz name's been one that's been in Bottineau for the past years that I've had the calls for Minot High hockey. Some players that have come through that have done a good job for the Braves. Here's a drive that knocked down by Swanks to in front of the net, went to the corner. Scrubbing for it, now is Amsbaugh. He got together there with Esslinger. Esslinger had a goal against Mandad the other night, and a big one there. Delayed call coming on the Magi. It will be the second power play of the game. I believe it's going to go on Esslinger. Touchdown by Opperud. And here's the call coming as to the sin bin. Will be Kelton Esslinger. The call will be what here from Devin Blada. 2 minutes interference. Second power play. Coming out now here for Bottineau.
Well, if you're Minot, you keep doing what you're doing. Just there's nothing wrong with that gritty play and hard-nosed play. You just have to be smart. We can't keep giving these guys, power plays. We haven't had that many yet, but don't give Bottineau any more chances than they already need. You're already keeping them off the shot for the shots anyway, so just be a little bit more smarter and a little more disciplined.
Big hit on the far side wall. That was Thogfett that got into Matt Olsen, Now it's Amsbaugh on the near side. We listened into Pete Stenberg. Olsen from the line sends it in. And Trey Sortland's got his third stop of the hockey game.
Well, if you're on that PK, you got to be careful. You can be aggressive, but be smart. If you're going to go out there, you got to play the body. You can't let Amsbaugh walk all over you because he's just licking his chops out there. He's playing the point. It's kind of like the quarterback out there.
Amsbaugh, you can't say enough about this kid. He wears the C patch on his uniform here for Bottineau. 65 points last year, 33 goals last year for Amsbaugh. I found it interesting doing the prep here tonight. Here's a 2-on-1 back the other way. Thogfett's in with it. Thogfett throws it in front to lock backhand drive. Olsen stoned him. shorthanded opportunity, and Tyler Olsen comes up big again. 13th save of the game.
If you're Minot, you've got to start capitalizing on these chances. You just don't get many 2-on-1s on. You don't get many 2-on-1s playing 5-on-5. Not to mention being on the penalty kill. So we've got to start cashing in on some of these chances. It could be a 3 or 4-0 game right now.
Well, that was luck that had the opportunity. This one's going to be shot up and around to the near side wing it comes. It's going to be pushed back up to center, and here comes Bottineau back into the offensive zone again with Mason Heisler, taken away by Field. Back to that Amsbaugh conversation, I found it interesting looking at his numbers last year. The All-State and All-WDA player, the #1 point producer in North Dakota with 65 points. He had 33 goals to his name. This year he's only got 9, but he's got 18 assists to go with it. On-angle shot came in for a bone break, and the stop was made from Olsen. 49 seconds left of the power play. My point being is that when you look at what Amsbaugh has been able to do with the guys around him, like Landon Rosendahl, Getzlaf on the power play, and Matt Olsen, you can see that he's not a selfish player. He's a guy that's not afraid to pass the puck. If that's what it takes to win, he'll get the job done, and I think that really deserves a tip of the hat as well.
For sure. I mean, when you're a playmaker like that and a good point producer, you're going to make everybody else better around you.
On the draw, here it comes right out in front. Oh, sent back across. Morelli was there on the side of the cage. And Olsen again coming up big. Shots are 14-3. The Magi in the driver's seat, they lead 1-0 as well. 1:43 left here in the first. First International Bank and Trust scoreboard sees that power play time down to 26 seconds remaining here for Bottineau as Olsen will shut the door again.
Well, it's a good kill for Minot. Bottineau's only chance have been on that first unit, but you're Minot, you're getting these chances. Luck just misfired a little bit with Morelli there. God, that would have been a tap in. I mean, you've got to start scoring on these. I mean, you could be burying Bottineau right now.
15-3 in the shot column. Amsbaugh's got it back. Works it around to the far side. Bottineau reminds me of a rattlesnake. They just kind of hang around, and if they're there long enough and you're close enough to them, if they're close enough to you, I should say, at a certain point they may strike and that venom may sting you. And that's where Bottineau's been good. That's what they did to Bismarck High the other night. Out in front, here's a drive. Oh, they shoot and score right in front of the net. Landon Rosendahl's 10th of the year. Just what we were talking about. Amsbaugh sets it up. Rosendahl puts it to the back of the net. It's 1-1.
Well, you could see that coming. Minot had all those chances, and we weren't cashing in on our chances. And Bottineau comes down and gets a little bit good puck movement on their end of that power play and makes it count. You just hate giving up goals right at the end of a power play. You're within 5-10 seconds of killing it off.
Power play goal here for the Braves. We'll listen in. It will be Rosendahl's 10th of the year.
1 minute remaining.
There's the 1 minute call. Right at 1 minute remaining, a power play goal for the Braves. Here we go. Here's the drive coming in, knocked down in front. Here's Pete Stenberger's the puck's out at center.
Scored by number 20, Landon Rosendahl. Assisted by number 16, Ian Amsbaugh, and number 2, Colton Getzlaf.
Well, Getzlaf and Rosendahl. That was unbelievable. I was just talking about those three guys and how the roles have maybe changed here in 2020 for Ian Amsbaugh. Then it just comes to light right in front of us. We see it there with Getzlaf getting it on the play. Rosendahl's 10th of the year, and Amsbaugh continues to shine. It's 1-1. Back up at the line, comes across for Tice, sends it in. Also made the save, rebound, loose in front. Here's a drive. Oh, in front. He shoots and scores. Bryce Hall takes the lead back with 10 seconds left in the opening period. 2nd of the year for Hall.
Well, you see what happens. Good things happen when you put the puck on net. They don't always have to be the hardest shot, but as long as you're creating traffic in front of that goaltender, making it tough for him to see, those rebounds pop out. We said that earlier. We're going to need some greasy goals, those lunch bucket type style of goals, and then you pop one with 10 seconds left. That's kind of a backbreaker for Bottineau right now.
Puck's going to be dumped in. All right, kids, cut him down 3-2. Here's one, and at the end of the first, Minot High is going to come out on top. They lead 2-1 at the end of one period of play. Let's listen in before we go to the break for the official assists on the Hall goal.
16 minutes and 50 seconds of period number 1. Goal scored by skater number 28, Bryce Hall. Assist by number 19, Aiden Morelli, and number 6, Casey Bell.
So Casey Fields got his second point of the game. Morelli's on the board with an assist. Ed Hall's got his second of the year. The Magi take the lead back. The final minute of that opening period certainly was an entertaining one. The Magi are on top 2-1. When we come back to our Premier Chiropractic Intermission Report, we'll talk to Travis Rybczynski, the head coach of the Dakota College at Bottineau Lumberjacks. We'll talk to him when we return with the full stats and recap in the Premier Chiropractic Intermission Report. This is North Dakota High School Hockey here on the PSP Network.
Life is all about moments. Big moments. Small moments. And those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
The magic of what we do really comes down to combining different aspects of patient care. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we love combining soft tissue work, the adjustment, and exercises together. We found that this gets the best results for our patients. We have 3 chiropractors to fit the needs of the entire family, a rehab area for our exercises and equipment for any athlete to improve performance. Give us a call and we will get you back to doing what you love.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag. At Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
If you told me 10 years ago I'd be a dad, homeowner, and business partner, I wouldn't have believed it. There's lots of reasons I chose First Western.
Hey Lloyd, how are you today?
Locally owned, community invested, convenient, but most of all, whatever I need, wherever I am, I can count on them.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by 28 Tastes and Taps, Beaupre Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Big Time Bistro, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, North Country Sportswear, First Western Bank and Trust, and Arbo Photography.
"17 minutes in the books tonight here at the Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena. It's the Premier Chiropractic Intermission Report. Premier Chiropractic focused on improving the health of Minot and the surrounding areas through the most cutting-edge advances in natural health care today. Dr. Kirk Mason combines several techniques to decrease pain and improve function, while Dr. Becky Perry-Domries focuses on treating pediatrics and prenatal. Find them online, PremierChiropracticND.com. We now have the opportunity to be joined by the Dakota College at Bottineau Lumberjacks head coach, Mr. Travis Rybczynski. First of all, Coach, great to see you. How are things going tonight?
You too, Nick. Thanks for having me. And things were going okay there the last 10 seconds. Not so bad if you're a Bottineau fan, but I mean, close game, and it's nice to see all the people in the rink today.
I have to get your analysis on that first period from the coaching standpoint in your brain. This is kind of a fun matchup here tonight when you've got two goaltenders, in my mind, maybe two of the best in the WDA, and you've got that unit from Bottineau that is at the top of the list and producers across the state. and just a hard-working hockey team against some depth of Minot, who's kind of lacked some scoring this year. Your thoughts on this matchup and what the key might be in that second and third period here tonight?
Well, I always think our team can work harder, but it's just the style they play. We don't really crash and bang as much. I wish we were a little more physical, but I think that's sort of the big difference. Like you said, depth, but just the seniors on the Minot team, they've just had a little more experience, and I'd say we're still inexperienced, but this team's grown as the years went on, and the improvement has been fun to watch, and the improvement since my son played as a freshman, so it's been a good year to see 3 lines, and you know what, the first period's expected what I expected, if that makes sense, but I just think we got to get more pucks to the net, obviously, and like when we have chances, like Ian's got to hit the net there, and everyone does. But it's it'll be a tight game, just typical West Region hockey game this year.
Fun to see these teams get at it. At the start of the year, I predicted Bottineau to go to the state high school hockey tournament as one of the 4 in the West. For you at Dakota College at Bottineau, the head coach there with a set on the team with Riley Rybczynski playing defense and one of the captains of this Bottineau team. Touch on that just a little bit, the opportunity for you to travel around through the WDA and get a chance. Do you do any scouting when you see these teams play?
I've always looked at North Dakota kids, and it's been tougher to get them up there lately, especially, since we joined the ACHA, we haven't been able to give out scholarships, but, there's so much talent in the West this year, and I know you have been, and, a lot of us are always high on West Region people, but we just don't get the recognition they get in the whole state. But I think this year is pretty special. I was talking to Mr. Willard there before the game, and I just said it's too bad we didn't see some East-West matchups this year, because we get dogged on all the time about being out West and can't compete with the East. Well, I think it would have been a lot closer this year than it is, and hopefully once that state tournament comes, we can knock some of those Eastern powers off.
It will be certainly fun to see. Let's change gears now and talk about the Lumberjacks a little bit. In your recent years, how good is this hockey team compared to the years past? Seems like you guys are taking down some pretty good hockey teams, and like Minot State the other night, you didn't win that game, but certainly through 40 minutes of it, it was pretty darn tight, still 10 at the end, 5-2.
Yeah, you know what, it was good to compete with those guys. We've had a couple one-sided affairs with them, and then, that one year we lost in overtime to them, but the goalie stood on his head for us. And this year I thought we could compete a little better with them. We have some depth, and we have some guys that just love coming to the rink every day, and so it's fun as a coach to coach guys like that, and we got some leadership, and it's just been a really fun year, but the biggest difference from maybe the past 2-3 years is some more depth.
It's been fun to see those box scores and the results. I saw that you guys took down Jamestown. How big was that for your program, going down to play a Jimmy's team that is going to be at the ACHA Division I National Tournament and probably a contender?
Yeah, you know what? We've always had really good luck against them. We didn't play last year, but 2 years ago we only played them once, and it was one of those. They treated it like an exhibition game and dressed 25 guys or whatever. But we had them close, and then their first 2 years, I think we won 3 out of 4 games. So. We've always played well against them, but yeah, that was a big one, and the biggest thing there is we lost the lead, and then we came back and scored the next shift, and when you have the ability to do that for a team, that's huge. Where in past years, especially a good team like that, we might just cave, and then it ends up being 5-3 at the end of the game instead of for them instead of us. So it's been a really fun team to coach so far, and we still have 2-3 months of hockey left, because the Nationals will be in the middle of April. Hopefully we'll get there. So
more coming up tomorrow night. Touch on the matchup tomorrow with Mary. Is that at the Lumberdome tomorrow night?
No, we're down in Mandan tomorrow against U of Mary, and I'm really excited because we played Minot tough, and then Providence is a good team. We played them, so we have 2 games against some quality opponents that hopefully will get us ready for that game. And the speed and physicalness of it. So, we haven't played well down there, and I'm looking tomorrow's hopefully going to be different.
Sure, appreciate your time. Always fun catching up with you. Final thing for you, where does the Lumberdome rank of your all-time favorite rinks that you grew up in, that you've been to? for me, that might be at the top of my list. I absolutely love that place. What does that place mean to you?
It depends what the weather is, right? So, no, it's awesome. Like, I wish it was a little warmer some days, but, I never really thought of it like that. It's our home rink, and I might get a little emotional speaking a little bit about it because it's such a great atmosphere when we got it full, and all the history in it, right? Lumberjacks have been around 45 years, and before that, I think it was built in 1949. So great history, and it's just a great place. And before I go here, Nick, I just want to say on behalf of all hockey people, we really appreciate all you do for the sport, and especially these high school kids. Like, they're so lucky to have a great broadcaster like you. You're pro all the way, and I know hockey fans really appreciate your hard work that you do, and I know I appreciate it, and I probably watched you about 10 times this year so far, so keep up the great work.
I sure appreciate you. That's Travis Rybczynski, the head coach of the Bottineau Lumberjacks. That Lumberdome would be that much sweeter with another banner this year. Best of luck. Try to track one down.
All right, thanks.
That's Travis Rybczynski, head coach of the Dakota College Bottineau Lumberjacks. It's the Premier Chiropractic Intermission Report. When we come back, Matt and I will break down the period. We'll give you the full scoring recap as well at the end of 20. Minot High's on top. It's 2-1. It's North Dakota High School Hockey here on the PSP Network.
This presentation of the PSP Network is brought to you by Bottineau Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, the Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, First Western Bank and Trust, the UPS Store, Qdoba, and Arbo Photography.
Life is all about moments. Big moments. Small moments. And those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
The magic of what we do really comes down to combining different aspects of patient care. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we love combining soft tissue work, the adjustment, and exercises together. We found that this gets the best results for our patients. We have 3 chiropractors to fit the needs of the entire family, a rehab area for our exercises and equipment for any athlete to improve performance. Give us a call and we will get you back to doing what you love.
The 30-inch Galactic Pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag at Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
If you told me 10 years ago I'd be a dad, homeowner, and business partner, I wouldn't have believed it. There's lots of reasons I chose First Western.
Hey Lloyd, how are you today?
Locally owned, community invested, convenient, but most of all, whatever I need, wherever I am, I can count on them.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network is brought. This presentation of the PSP Network is brought to you by Bottineau Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, the Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, First Western Bank and Trust, the UPS Store, Qdoba, and Arbo Photography.
Premier Chiropractic Intermission Report's almost come to a close. Bottineau comes back to the ice. Here come the Magi. They make their way back to the ice surface as we get ready and set for our second period of play. Nick Holberg and Matt Morelli here on the call. Matt, your thoughts on period number 1 here tonight. Minot High outshooting Bottineau 17-4, 2-1 at the end of one in favor of the Magi. Your overall takeaway?
Well, I mean, for Minot, they know they had more quality chances. They've just got to start making Bottineau pay for some of those mistakes. And I think Minot, they've got to start finishing their checks. There's opportunities to really wear these guys down. If you're going to skate all the way out to a guy, let him have it. Finish your check. That's the way it should be, and that's the way you're going to wear Bottineau's defensemen down. They got the puck, go and lay the body on them. And if you're Bottineau's just kind of trying to stretch the ice out. They're in their zone. They're kind of like, fighting for their lives sometimes on some of those shifts. And Bottineau's just throwing it up off the wall. They're sometimes trying to go up the middle to find that guy, that forward stretching out for that long pass. Minot's just got to be aware of that, not let that guy get behind you.
Time for the second frame. We're underway for the middle period. Minot High in their Vegas golds, traveling from the left to the right. If you're just joining us tonight, Bottineau is in purple. We'll have our Magic City inspection full recap of that first period in just a moment here. Get a few more minutes on the clock, and then they brought both teams back to the ice and all of a sudden took it down on us, so we do apologize. Puck's going to be handled here by Field in his own D zone, trying to move it up to center. Field's got a 2-point night going tonight. Off to Ben Bonebrake. He's into the zone. Turns and fires. That was a hard wrister. Field's side of the net fired on. Olsen reaches back, and Olsen makes the stop. Let's take a look at that first period recap of the game reset, brought to you by our friends at Magic City Inspections, the locally owned company committed to providing exceptional inspection services to ensure that you're ready to take the next step in home ownership. Find them online, MinotInspections.com. The Magi scored first. Casey Field picked up his 8th of the year, all assisted at 7:41. Then an even strength goal is the official credit right at the end of the power play for Bottineau, was scored by Landon Rosendahl, his 10th of the year. Amsbaugh and Colton Getzloff had the assists. Minot then, 20 seconds later, fired one into the back of the net. 10 seconds later, about a minute later actually, is when it was. It was Bryce Hall from Aiden Morelli and Casey Field. Hall's second of the year. Shots of the first were 17-4. 2 power plays for the Braves, none for the Magi. That's where we stand at the end of one. And the reset brought to you by our friends at Magic City Inspections. Find them online, MinotInspections.com. Icing on the play, back and behind Sortland.
Oh, what a chance for Minot down there. I don't know if you saw that. Luck made a nice pass out front to Knutson there, and it would have just it looked like a tap in. I don't know if he expected it or if it just got on his stick so fast. Oh, I mean, Minot has had so many more quality chances than Bottineau. It's not even funny. They've just got to start. They've got to start making them pay and give themselves a little bit of breathing room.
It's been the Achilles heel for the Magi on the year. They just haven't been able to find a way to score at will. They've got the staff to do it. They've got the players, you would think, coming in. And I always figure that out when I put these numbers together, and where the base of that comes from is you could see a guy like a Morelli or an Operud or a Luck. When you look at what they were able to do, Jaden Luck, for example, 31 points last year. That was in his sophomore year. Now it's his junior season. If you could see a 20% increase or maybe even just a 15%, 10 points, nevertheless, up the ladder they would go. It just hasn't been that way for the Magi this year. It's no knock on any of these guys. It's just that they have been a little snake bit at times, it seems almost. Puck taken out by Hall. 1 goal tonight for him. On the other side, goals have not been a problem for that top unit for Bottineau. We know how good Amsbaugh is coming in, 65 points last year. Here's one from the line. Oh, a big one. Jake Tice puts it to the back of the net, and it's 3-1 Magicians.
Well, you see what happens. They don't have to be real hard, but you put them on net and you get bodies in front of Olsen. Good things happen. I don't think he saw it because it was in the middle of the net. So, but that's credit to Minot. You put it on net. They don't have to be a rocket from back there. Just put it on net. Hopefully somebody's in there screening, and next thing you know, it's kind of found its way in the back of the net.
We'll listen to Pete Stenberg. And And here's the official call.
An even strength goal has been scored at 1 minute and 55 seconds of period number 2 by skater number 4, Jacob Tice. Assist by number 15, Gabe Thunfett. Number 2, Sam Bissett. That's Tice from Thunfett and Bissett at 1:55 of period number 2.
Thunfett and Bissett. Swangster's back in on it. Tripped up in front of the net. No call the play. John Grubb and Jordan Willard losing their minds over on the Minot high bench.
They missed one on that one too. There's been a couple of Sphinx got tripped up, taken to the net. I'm not sure what their thinking is on that.
Puck's going to be flipped up to center off of Amsbaugh into the zone. They come down a lane here for the Braves. Amsbaugh's out in front. Here's a drive. Oh, a shot and a save. Nice one there from Trey Sortland. He came up big back door. Another. Oh, my goodness. Down into the splits goes Trey Sortland. Somebody called the cops. That was highway robbery.
Well, I think that was kind of a makeup call there. Amsbaugh came in the slaughter, and he was being held on that breakaway right before that, so I think the ref kind of let that one go. But Sphinx View's down the shift before that on the other end. How was that not a trip? I'm sorry, that's not being a homer. That's just saying they've missed a couple obvious trips on him. Poor guy.
Underneath the net, it comes down the near side. Only 2 power plays in the entire game here tonight. For the most part, letting them play prison rules in a sense. Back the other way it comes now for the Braves, out to center. How about Trey Sortland? Comes up huge tonight. You heard it from Jason Bennett in the pregame show talking about the All-Stater and the goaltender for the Magi that is currently number 3 in the state for goals against average. He's in good company with Elseth from Grand Forks Central and Sandy from Fargo South. Here's Locke, side of the goal. Tried to send it out in front. Oh, big stop, rebound. Puck's going to be taken out of the zone, sent all the way down as that one cleared by Matt Olson. Nice opportunity there for the Magi. Anyway, it was Bennett to the pregame show tonight, if you missed it, talking about how Trey Sortland, after that loss against Bismarck Century, it was almost like he flipped a switch. Not to take away any credit from Sortland. He always gets up for games. He's always the one that wants to practice. He wants to be in the pipes, Bennett said. He just talked about something switched upstairs with Trey ever since that time. Back-to-back shutouts coming into tonight, and he's been fantastic on the 6 shots that he's had to stop here tonight because, again, when you're going against Ian Amsbaugh and company, you know there's going to be some primetime opportunities, and here the second is example A of exactly that. Side of the net, oh, wide open. Here's a drive, side of the cage. Hesslinger sent that one wide. Puck comes back away now. Into the possession here for Bissett. He's having a good game tonight for the Magi. Loose out in front. Up to Riley Oprud at the line. Dropped it back over to Hall. Sent it across. Knocked down in the middle. Nice play there. And the Braves push out to center. This is Veets Riley that's going to get into it there with Bradley. They scrub in the corner. That's a size mismatch, but Veets Riley certainly grinding hard here for Bottineau. Into the offensive zone comes Hall. Hit there hard by Rybczynski. Down behind the net here for Hall. Back out in front. Loose there. Nobody home, but back to center we go as the puck's going to be taken and sent away here on the near side to Casey Field. Dumped out into the zone behind the goaltender Tyler Olson. Amsbaugh's back on the retrieve. Taken on the near side wing. Oprud back to handle here. Comes back away now to Thogfett. Thogfett shuffles it back ahead. Now on the near side wing, back into the offensive zone it comes. Taking it down, Landon Rosendahl back out in front. Here's a drive. Rosendahl had his stick knocked out of his hand in front. And the puck's going to be shifted up to center. And now Swangstu's in. Swangstu side of the cage. How about the back checking there from Amsbaugh? And then Amsbaugh sends him for a ride. They continue to have a conversation. Amsbaugh still going at it there with the young man, Swangstu. Now Amsbaugh's out to center. He's going to skate in with it. Amsbaugh takes it into the offensive zone. Delay call coming. Blade has got his arm up. And Amsbaugh is going to be going off on a slashing call. And the first power play of the night will come out for the Magi. Here with 10:58 left in the second. It's 3-1.
Well, if you're Minot, that's the guy you want in the box for sure. But Minot, Bottineau is not that they're having trouble getting out of their zone, but they're coming up ice. They're trying to be just too fancy, I think. They're giving up the turn over the puck. And Minot's had their issues too with some of those plays, but if you're Bottineau, you're already down Why are you trying to be so fancy at your blue line or at center ice? That's not the place to do it for any team, much less when you're down. But like if Minot, you're on the power play, make this like really, let's really hammer it home here. This would really hurt getting one here.
In on the blocker side, the puck will come. Pushed out to center and back to neutral. It comes from the Braves. They dump it down from Colvitz Riley. Shortland was out of the net to play it. Now Bonebreak will set it up.
2 minutes, slashing.
Up to center ice we go, and Bonebreak's going to carry it in. He's over the blue line, comes down underneath the net. Bonebreak worked it back up top, out for a Sunday stroll across the zone. He comes. Bonebreak turns and fires. He scored. Then Bonebreak went for a stroll. Then put that one over the glove of Olsen, and Bonebreak picks up his third of the year. And a power play goal has the Magi up by 3.
Well, I guess for Minot, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. You want to get pucks on net, but either way, you got to cash in those power plays. I mean, that's why you got that man advantage. You got to break through one of these times, and those are just backbreakers when you're the team on the penalty kill.
We'll see if Bonebreak gets any help on this one. Here's Pete Stenberg.
Goal has been scored at 6 minutes and 33 seconds, period number 2, by skater number 18, Ben Bonebreak. Unassisted, that's Bonebreak unassisted at 6:33 at period number 2.
Unassisted there, sorry, man.
Yep, I was just going to say, Minot will go back on the power play. Give Luck a lot of credit there. He just kept working, kept his feet moving. Take it to the net. If they give you a lane, he didn't really get a lot on that last shot, but the main thing was he hit the net. He kind of lost his footing a little bit and going down and just put it on net and kind of caught Olsen up high. And you keep your feet moving, chances are you're going to draw some penalties. And I mean, give him credit on that one. He didn't quit going on that one.
Lane Tiffany into the box.
Faceoff should be down low. I'm not sure why he went outside there. The ref covered up. The play was down in the zone already. Okay, they corrected it, but I was about to say, what is that red linesman thinking there for a second? Holy cow.
On the blocker side of Olsen. In on the draw, the Magi looking to extend the lead to 5-1. 2-1 was the score the last time these two teams played. That was the opener for both at the Lumberdome. Hopperud sent it across, comes down to the corner.
2 minutes, tripping.
Power plays back out here for Minot High. 1 for 1 on the power play here tonight. And now the puck's going to be swept out of the zone. Down it came all the way 200 feet off of Landon Rosendahl, the senior.
Minot's just got to make a little quicker decisions. You're on the wall, the puck. You don't have time to be messing around. Get the puck deep in the corner and set it up. Get it set up instead of, you know you're going to be doing some pressuring.
Fields in over the line, but whistled for the offside. Got to go back to the conversation with Travis Rybczynski at the break here tonight. The Premier Chiropractic Intermission Report brought up a very interesting conversation, and that's the East versus West showdowns this year that didn't happen. It would be very interesting to see how this Magicians team and this Bottineau team and some of the others in the West would stack up here this year with how much parity there's been in the West region. Would be interesting to see where those teams lie. And come the end of the season, it's definitely going to be worth stopping in for to see how they settle when the dust settles here at the end of 2021. Luck's got it underneath the net, wrapped it around in front, side of the cage. Fields got his second, and a power play goal has the Magi up 5-1.
Well, Minot's got 2 power play goals in a row, so I mean their power plays is working for them right now. They're taking advantage of some breakdowns by Bottineau, but nonetheless, they're finally starting to break through. You knew after 17, 18 shots in that first period, it was just a matter of time. Just don't get frustrated. Now you see Bottineau call a timeout, which is probably the best move for Bottineau. They probably need to take a deep breath and say, what do we got to do different here?
Fields scored his 8th of the year to start the game. Just scores his 9th. That one assisted by Luck. Let's see if there's one more assist.
Period number 2 by skater number 6, Casey Bell. Assist by number 21, Riley Oprud, and number 11, Jaden.
So Riley Oprud does get an assist on the play. By the way, tonight's game brought to you by our friends at Clean Tech. where you can get COVID-19 deep cleaning services for your home or business with CleanTech LLC. This is a proactive deep cleaning service that includes disinfecting and sanitizing. CleanTech's also your home for 24/7 disaster response and restoration services. Find them online, cleantechllc.us. CleanTech coming to the rescue since 1992. For the Braves here, Matt, what do they need to do in this remaining 9:04 of the second?
I think they're in a little shock right now. You had it was 2-1 5 minutes ago, and now it's 5-1. They've got to stay out of the box. I mean, Bottineau's starting to take some dumb penalties. Minot's just letting them have it now. So I think Bottineau's got to regroup, get back to playing fundamental hockey. They don't have to be fancy, but Bottineau's got to start making some plays.
That depth of the Magicians seeming to wear down Bottineau just a bit tonight. And the Magi are back in. Field looking for a hat trick. He's going to skate it down. Sends it to the side of the net over there for Swangstu, and he had the opportunity, just couldn't pull the trigger. Lead pass. In comes Amsbaugh. He's all alone. He shoots and scores. And Amsbaugh brings him back within 3 as Amsbaugh's got his second point to the ninth. That time, goal number 10 of the year, point 29.
I thought we talked about it after the period break. Minot can't give up that stretch pass, whether it's on the ice or up in the air. How is a guy getting by 2 defensemen? I mean, come on, Minot's defensemen got to wake up. You got a comfortable lead. Don't let Bottineau back in so easy like that, especially against the top guy.
And maybe the top guy in the entire land. Certainly was last year. Those 3 from Grand Forks Central and 2 from Jamestown would like to argue that. Amsbaugh, number 6 in the state right now, however. Bradley's back in with it. Dropped it down. Isaiah Thongfetz out of the net. Shoots. He scored.
Well, that's a good answer by Minot. Scoring the next shift after giving up the Amsbaugh goal. And if you're Bottineau's goalie, it's a tough night already for him. There's still half the game left. So I don't know if we'll see a goalie change, or does Bottineau just ride it out and say, we'll take our chances, leave the starter in there.
The floodgates seem to have opened here in the second. That was a good shot. And Isaiah Thongfetz found the twine as he went low on the glove side. And Thongfetz got his 5th of the year. Man, this one's had a little bit of everything tonight, hasn't it? 6-2, Minot High on top. Let's listen in.
Scored at 8 minutes and 43 seconds, period number 2. A skater number 15, Gabe Thongfetz. Unassisted, that's Thongfetz. Unassisted at 8:43 of period number 2. Even strength.
In front of Shortland. Puck comes right into the blue paint, and he'll hang on to it. Opportunity out front for Bottineau. 7:47 left here in the second. 6-2, Minot High's on top. It was 2-1 at the end of one. There's been a handful of goals here in the second. Shots are now 23-8. Minot High's on top. In that category as well, First International Bank and Trust scoreboard has Minot up by 4.
Well, if you're Minot, get with it in your own end. You got to clean up your play in your own end. You're starting to make a couple bad plays. Mike's getting a little lazy. It's a far from over.
Handled here now on the near side by Thongfetz. Back to that rattlesnake analogy from the first period. Bottineau, they can strike on you at any time. That's been the fun part about watching Bottineau teams with guys like Milliken or Aid or Amsbaugh or Longy or Grant. Doesn't matter. There's been many of them. Herbal. You go down the list. Seems like every year they've got players that can get the job done. And they score goals like fireworks on the 4th of July grand finale at the State Fairgrounds. On the near side of Cubs into the offensive zone. Out in front, Desslinger almost took it away. Now the Braves are going to fire this one all the way down. Sortland's out of the net to play it. When I go back in the time machine and think about those players that were good for all those years, think about Eisenzimmer back in my time, back in the early 2000s. He was a player that dominated back in. Out in front, that was Knudsen that fired one on. Eisenzimmer was good back then. The next in line was probably Eric Herbal. He went on to be Mr. Hockey North Dakota. That was before he played for the Bismarck Bobcats. Wraparound out in front, nobody home. Herbal then came to the Magic City. cut the difference of those two towns in half between Bottineau and Bismarck, came to Minot State, and he hung a national championship banner here at the Pepsi Ring. That was back in 2012, 2013. Great guy, too, by the way. Herbal, got to know him when I was the voice of the Bobcats, and he came into play after his senior year, after winning that Mr. Hockey award. Logan Milliken scored 64 points. How do you like this number for Harrison Aid? 92 his senior year. Tried to track down Mike Peluso, got within 7. Aid just couldn't get it done. Needed 7 more. He was a fun player to watch. He's now the program director over in Williston for the Williston Youth Hockey Program. And let me tell you, the Coyotes are headed in a good direction with him at the helm. Puck's taken here back out to center ice. Saw the tape it went there from Alex Lorenz. Down into the zone it comes. Lorenz got together with Opperud. Puck's free down to Swagstu. Fired up the glass. And there's going to be a call on the play. I believe a hand pass possibly. Well, you look at those numbers and then you talk about Luke Absbaum. 2015, 65 points that year. 85 the year before that for Absbaum. That's Luke Absbaum now. Then you talk about Ian Absbaum, who led the state last year. What is it up there? There's something in the water. There's just each and every year, or every 2 years, every class, every group of 4 seasons, it seems like somebody up there is worthy of a Mr. Hockey tag on their back.
Well, they have the talent, and it seems like their top guys are getting a ton of minutes. I mean, sometimes, like a lot of these games, they're out there every other shift, which they're lucky, and that's great ice time. But you're playing that much in a game, you're bound to get a lot of points.
Heisler carried it down. He was there with Getzloff. Forward it came down. Getzloff's only a freshman. Keep in mind, he's got 14 points on the year, 15 now tonight with the assist on that power play goal here in the contest. Or at the end of that power play, I should say, in the first period. Number 3 in scoring for Bottineau. Is he the next poster boy for the Braves? Chances are likely. Puck comes back up to the line. Tice is going to take it. He works it across. He's got a goal tonight. Puck comes back into the possession now for the Braves. They wheel and deal out to center. They come into the zone. Take it down here by Matt Olson. Spun it back too far past Rybczynski. And out to center they go with Hall. Hall's going to scan it down. Walked it down to the corner. There's a broken stick down there in the corner. Look out. Puck comes back away all the way out to center. Bonebreak's got it again with a 9-iron. Puts that one up off the high part of the glass. Falls back in behind Tyler Olson. And now on the near side wing, there's a scrum forward in the offensive zone for the Magi. We're down to 4 minutes, 5 seconds in the second. 6-2, Minot High on top. Minot High outscored Bottineau in the first 2-1. They're outscoring them here in the second, 4-1. And an icing on the play brought to you by our friends at Tires Plus. With all brands under one roof, with the guaranteed lowest prices, you can't go wrong. And there's service after the sale with the Tires Plus plan. Find them online, TiresPlusND.com.
Minot's just got to be smart. Bismarck's have to start pressing here. They're taking a chance with that long pass. Minot's lucky. High school rules, you can. Doesn't matter if you beat the puck there or not. It's still going to be an icing. Where if the checking forward, the offensive forward beats that puck there, it waves off that icing. So Minot's got to just kind of be smart. A chance to hold the line, keep the pressure on.
In with the drive, that one came up. And back to the line now for Opperud. Opperud's going to send it in, and the puck's going to come back into the Minot High bench. No, it went up and over the bench and on a play, and a face-off coming back inside of the offensive zone. 3:37 left here in the second. You look back at the time machine as well at these numbers. Bottineau's never won a state championship. However, back in your time frame, in your era, they were mighty good back then.
Yeah, they were very good.
1993, they won a region championship. That's their only region championship on the list since high school hockey's been around and playing in the regions. Pucks went up and into the bench. 93, they won the region championship. No state titles. Got a handful of Mr. Hockeys. And they've got one of the coolest venues in the entire state of North Dakota. What do you remember most about that Bottineau rivalry when you played back in the day?
You knew you were always in for a showdown. You had to have your best games up there. They were usually tight, a lot of physical play, and there wasn't many blow. It's not that this is, but there wasn't many lopsided scores. You had to play well, and you knew the crowd was going to be. They always had that advantage. It was kind of like that 12th man, you could say. So they were always great games. You kind of circled that one on the calendar. They look forward to it just as much or more than Minot did.
Shot out to center, comes back to Riley Oprud on the near wing. Threw it up to center to Amsbaugh. Luck is nailed at center ice on a hard hit there, thrown by Alex Lorenz. Amsbaugh's got it at center, but an offsides is called. And the faceoff will come back in front of the Bottineau bench. Jesse Dostal here in his second year. I talked to him after Dave Hoff was their head coach for 30 seasons. And a guy that has all the respect in the world from anyone inside the hockey world. So much so that he's part of the USA Hockey coaching staff for the Paralympic team and the sled hockey team for USA Hockey. Been big as far as his role on the administration side for USA Hockey for this region. A guy that just has all my respect to everybody else. Dave Hoff's the real deal. I asked Jesse Dostal that earlier on here tonight before our pregame conversation, what that's been like replacing a guy like David Hoff in those shoes, what that's like stepping in to try to fill those shoes. And he talked about how right out of the gate, Jesse Dostal played for Bottineau back in 2002, by the way. So Dave Hoff was his coach, and he talked about how he set his expectations at a standard where he knew that he's not going to be Dave Hoff. You can't fill those shoes, but you can do everything to your best to teach the kids to just be like Dave Hoff in some ways. I think that's a pretty good mentality, knowing that you're never going to be, but you can have some characteristics and qualities. That would be a hard position to be in, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, Dave, he's been there so long. Every guy has a different style. Dave was same class as myself, and he kind of had a laid-back style. Dave didn't. You never saw him yelling and screaming and getting all wound up, but he just had more quiet style, and he would just maybe let him have it in the locker room a little bit more. But on the bench, no, he was always real reserved, and he just maybe had different ways of showing what he wanted done. But as far as you can't complain. You can't knock his career. He'd been there forever and had a lot of good success.
Esslinger's got it on the wall, sent it down. Off to Bissett, back behind the net it comes. Now, side of the cage. It's picked up here by Amsbaugh. And Amsbaugh's going to flip it out to center over the head of Bradley. And back on the retrieve comes Thongfett back in his own zone. He's got one here tonight. The Magi have 6 in total. The Braves have 2, but the game's not over yet. Out in front, here comes the drive. Tipped there in front of the net. Oh, Getzlaff almost had his second point of the game. Puck comes back away to the far side. Bissett's got it. He's going to shuffle it off the head. Trying to clear the zone. Minot High still pinned in their own zone. Now Esslinger on the far side wall. Trying to escape with it. Now it's shuffled up and out. Put right into the Minot High bench and a stop in the play. Jordan Willard ended up with the puck over on the far side. And the assistant coach for the Magi doesn't put it in his pocket. He just throws it back out into the playing surface.
Well, if you're Minot, you've got that play along the wall is so important. You see that Minot's the best thing for Minot. They've got that last change. So they've got to take it. They're going to take advantage of that matchup, matching lines. But Minot has got to get better on the wall. We've had a chance to get the puck out. We're flipping it up, and it's not hard enough, not high enough. Their Bottineau defensemen are knocking it down. But you've got to get better at that.
Here comes Amsbaugh. He's going to work. Morelli's on top of him. Amsbaugh still with possession of the puck. Oh, Morelli lit his lamp behind the net. Puck comes back up to the line. It's going to be held in there by Tiffany. He sends it down. Oprud's got it, and Oprud with a backhand threw it up, and it hit the Bottineau bench. And a stop in the play here with 40.9 seconds remaining in the second.
Well, that's probably good. Minot needed a whistle there. I mean, you hate to have it down pinned in your zone still, but it just goes back to show you. It doesn't seem to me that Minot there's enough talk out there. The communication is lacking, and that is so important because if you're going to retrieve the puck and you got your back towards the oncoming guys, and your partner can tell you what you got time, no time, chip it off the wall, fire it out. It's kind of a lot. The older levels do it so much better. The high school guys got to learn to do it better.
Trying to clear the zone again, unable to do so. Back in comes Amsbaugh, turns one up, high riser Missed over the blocker side of Sortland. Back the other way we go now. Cut him down, kids. We're at 13 seconds. Big hit over there on the far side wall. Rybczynski got together with Swagstu. Fields got it here. He's got 2 tonight. Sends it across. Back to Opperud. We're at 4 seconds now. 3-2. Here's one off the knob of the stick of Olsen. And at the end of 34 minutes, we've got a 6-2 hockey game. This one has been worth the price of admission tonight. Starting to get a bit chippy now here as we enter the third. Matt and I will come back with our Premier Chiropractic intermission report. We'll tell you how we got to a 6-2 score. Talk about the postseason. We'll get geared up for the third as well. It's North Dakota High School hockey on the PSP Network. This one's been a dogfight tonight. The Magi lead by 4.
The magic of what we do really comes down to combining different aspects of patient care. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we love combining soft tissue work, the adjustment, and exercises together. We found that this gets the best results for our patients. We have 3 chiropractors to fit the needs of the entire family, a rehab area for our exercises and equipment for any athlete to improve performance. Give us a call and we will get you back to doing what you love.
This presentation of the PSP Network is brought to you by Bottineau Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, the Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, First Western Bank and Trust, the UPS Store, Qdoba, and Arbo Photography.
Two periods in the books tonight to the Magi. Lead Bottineau Rugby by a score of 6-2. Nick Hoberg and Matt Morelli here for our Premier Chiropractic intermission report. Premier Chiropractic proudly serving Minot and the surrounding areas with the most cutting-edge advances in natural health care today. We're now joined by Minot High's assistant coach Jordan Willard at the Minot High bench at the end of the second period. And Minot High comes unglued in the second with a 6-2 lead. Coach, your thoughts on that middle frame? Minot High seemed to find a way to make the levy break there in that second frame.
It's amazing when you stick to a game plan and you decide to get some pucks to the net. What can happen? We got pucks there and bodies there, and we get rewarded for it. Still a dangerous team over there. Always a team when you got Ian Amsbaugh on it. You never know what's going to happen. A little flip up the middle there, and he goes in on a breakaway and happens to beat Trey. But at the end of the day, we'll take the 4 goals that period and take a 4-goal lead headed to the third here.
I kind of talk about Amsbaugh and this Bottineau team as like a rattlesnake that they could just strike at any time. What is the major message in the room to try to contain that to the third?
I mean, like I told the D there, we got enough to win right now. Doesn't mean that we sit back on our heels, but it means that we play defensive hockey. If you got a chance to get the puck out and you need to get it out, you get it out. If you got a chance to block a shot, you block a shot. You got a chance to body up, you body up. You play for the team, you be a family, and you take care of each other, and hopefully we get out of here with a win.
Sure appreciate your time. We'll talk to you after the hockey game tonight.
Hey, big birthday shout out to the old Mason Morelli, the quarantine king over there.
Yeah, good call.
That's Jordan Willard, assistant coach for the Magi. That was Mason's birthday this week. Happy birthday to the former magician at University of Nebraska Omaha Maverick, and of course now with the American Hockey League. Happy birthday, Mace, if you're listening here tonight. Be a birthday present to see his cousin's team win tonight 6-2. They're in the driver's seat here. Your thoughts on this hockey game after our first 2 periods of play here tonight?
Well, I think Minot, you don't, like Jordan said, don't let off the gas now. Play smart, use your head. You got a chance to get it down deep in the corner, get the puck in deep behind their defenseman. They're starting, when Minot plays physical, you're gonna wear anyone down. I don't care if it's Bottineau or whoever you're playing. So make those defensemen skate that extra ice and go and retrieving those pucks. Minot's just, when Minot gets a little, you know, they gets a little riled up a little bit. They seem to play a little more physical, but you can't. You need to play that way all the time. And Minot was a good answer. Amsbaugh scores that second goal, and Minot comes back and scores the next shift, which is huge. That whatever momentum Bottineau had for that brief 30-40 seconds, Minot took it right out, went right back, and got that sixth goal. I think it was the sixth goal. So that's what you need. And Trey, yeah, okay, he hasn't had nearly as many shots as what a goalie wants, but it's sometimes you know, those are tough. They have a long pass high up, catch them on a breakaway. Okay, he probably wants that one back. You got one of the best players in the state coming down, and yeah, that's a lot to ask when you've only had 9 shots in the period.
Good point, 100%. How do they correct that here in this third period? How do you shut down that Amsbaugh, that Hail Mary pass? Do you have a guy that you call the dogs off from the blue line and have Oprud and Bonebreak come back out to neutral? Or
I think you've got to make sure you keep that third forward high, and if the Minot defensemen start to feel a little pressure coming out, one guy's just got to drop back. It's kind of like the old saying, one defenseman always needs to be the safety man, no matter what. If you think something bad might happen, it's better off just to play it safe and just pull back off the line. And because a lot of times that's when bad things do happen. And like you said, you got enough to win the game. You probably don't need any more goals, but let's win the period, and don't take it easy, but just be smart. We don't need any penalties. Don't give Bottineau any power play opportunities, because they're looking for any breaks, because you know Amsbaugh and the Rosendahl, the go-to guys are going to be playing a ton this period, which maybe not a ton for them, but it's a ton when Minot's trying to match lines, because they're going to go every other shift, and Nostal is going to ask those guys to play a lot of long shifts. They have to. They got to gamble. They got to take chances. I mean, Minot's in the driver's seat and the deeper team, but keep pouring the shots on. Some of Minot's goals tonight haven't been real fancy, but they've been put on net. Olsen's been screened a little bit. Probably not one of his better nights, but some of these you can't blame him. It could be a lot worse. The first period, we missed 3 or 4, 5 maybe, of just perfect chances to score. Wow.
Both goaltenders. How about Trey Sortland in the second? He had a flurry of saves there on saves 5, 6, and 7, where he came across in the splits.
The slide across save, that might have been his best save of the year, and that was when it was a tight, when it was 1-1, I think. So tight. And Trey, you know, like you're saying, save a couple that you probably shouldn't have, because if you're Bottineau, they probably thought that guy probably had his hands halfway in the air. So if you're Trey, he's just do the right things. Just play a good hard 17 minutes. Keep the rebound steered in the corner. You don't have to do anything fancy. If Minot's under pressure, take the whistle. You got an opportunity to freeze the puck. There's nothing wrong with that. No coach is going to get on the goalie about just taking the whistle, especially if you're ahead and we're getting peppered. I mean, like Bottineau, they want to keep that pressure on, but anything close to Trey, I'm sure Bennett coaches will say, Trey, just take the whistle. Let's get the matchup change we need out there, because Minot gets that last change, and that's huge right now when you're the home team.
Time to take a look around the region. It's presented by our friends at Minot Inspections, the locally owned company that's committed to providing exceptional inspection services to ensure you're ready to take the next step in home ownership. You can find Minot Inspections online at minotinspections.com. Last night, an unusual Monday night game and an unusual score according to what we thought we would see. It was Jamestown and the Blue Jays. Jace Thompson and company, they unhooked the plow against Williston. They dominated 7-1. With that win last night, Jamestown holds down the number 1 spot in the West region by themselves for the time being with 32 points. 29 for the Magi on the year, 3 points for a win. So Minot High will try to climb back up into that number 1 spot in time with Jamestown. The X factor here is that Minot High has the tiebreaker, according to North Dakota High School Activities Association. Here's where this gets interesting. When we look Oh, let's listen in real quick. Minot High and Bismarck tied 3-3 in girls hockey. Fantastic.
Great game for the girls.
Absolutely.
Be nice to pull that one out.
Other games tonight in the WDA. Devils Lake, not in the WDA. Devils Lake's at Davies. Bismarck High is at Dickinson. Dickinson slumping. Bismarck High not having their best year. Got Bottineau here in Minot. Those are the only games taking place in the West. Thursday night, Jamestown is at Century. Now that game might decide what happens for the entire 1, 2, and 3 spots in the West region. Jamestown takes care of Century, and Minot wins out. Minot will be the number 1 team inside of the WDA heading into the postseason. Now granted, Minot High does have games left. They've got 4 remaining, including tonight. They've got Hazen coming up this week and Dickinson on Saturday, and then Williston next Tuesday. None of those games are guaranteed. Hazen probably is. But of course, Dickinson always plays you tough in Dickey, and Willie's always tough to beat as well. Other games, Williston's at Bismarck High. That's a big one as well. On Friday coming up, Century will host Williston. Williston's better than a 7-1 defeat last night at Jamestown, I do believe, so that one is an important one as well. On Saturday, Minot's at Dickinson. Mandan goes to Williston, and Century goes to Bottineau for a 6-point game at the Lumberdome.
Well, for some reason, if Century could beat one of those games, that'd be a huge plus for Minot. But it's kind of like you're saying. You go back to what you hear so many times when it's end of the season and teams are trying to get in, or look for that higher seed. Don't rely on another team. I think you would agree to that. It's like you say, worry about your own play. Minot, you can't just say, hey, let's we need some help out of Century and Jamestown or Bottineau or Williston. Don't count on it. Your best remedy is take care of your own play, win your own games. You got 4, you got 3 after tonight. Minot needs to win them all. Like you said, make it easy on yourself and just win outright. Just don't worry about what those other teams are doing or not doing, or getting help, or guys getting hot and forwards having a huge night. You're best off just to say, let's just worry about our own play. If you're gonna do something to make a good run here at the end, you got to beat the best teams anyway, and your play has got to be at a high level. You can't have shifts off. Hey, we had a bad period. Oh, blah blah blah. You can't say that. You just got to say we need to have our best play. Trey's got to be playing his best, and it starts with your guy in net. Then you go to the defenseman and say, we've got to, our play has got to be even better and crisper, and coming out better passes coming out of our own zone, and knowing when to pinch and when not to pinch, and getting it out of the zone, because the forwards, if your goaltender's playing well, that just makes everybody else. It takes a lot of pressure off when you're in the offensive zone, and maybe you're taking a few chances, and if you give up an outnumbered chance, you know your goalie's going to come up big and make that save for you.
Absolutely. In a recap from around that region, this is what's left. Minot's got Bottineau tonight, Hazen, then Dickinson, then Williston. Bottineau's got Minot tonight, Century for 6 points, and Mandan remaining. Jamestown at Century versus Mandan, and at Bismarck High. And Century only playing 10 games so far compared to the 12 that everyone else has played. They've got Jamestown, Williston, Bottineau, Bismarck, and Hazen remaining on their schedule. This is a big one tonight for Bottineau. Bottineau could still lock in home ice with some help, knocking off some wins coming up in their next 2 here. Bismarck High and Bottineau are going to fight for that 4th and final home ice advantage spot. Williston will be in that mix as well, because Williston's only played 10 games on the year also, so it's going to come down to it. That look around the region brought to you by Magic City Inspections. Find them online, MinotInspections.com. Time to take a look now at our game reset for the second period, brought to you by our friends at the UPS store. Location on South Broadway in Minot, inside of the Marketplace Plaza. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 7. And then Saturdays, 8:30 to 3. Here's Minot High basketball. Just announced they improved to 13-1 with that win tonight, by the way. Sorry to interrupt that thought at our game reset. Magi basketball's a real deal. They're probably going to move to number 1 of the state to the polls this week. Number 3 right now. They knock off Turtle Mountain tonight. Back to the game reset here, Matt. 6-2, Minot High's on top. Scoring in the first, Casey Field picked up his team high 8th of the season, unassisted at 7:41. Bottineau tied it at 15:52. Landon Rosendahl from Ian Amsbaugh and Colton Getzlaff. Rosendahl's 10th of the year. Bryce Hall for the Magi picks up the goal, and Hall on the season grabs number 2 on the season. That was with 10 seconds remaining in the first. Aiden Morelli and Casey Field had the assists on the play, and that's how we ended the first. 2-1, Minot High was on top. They outshot Bottineau in the first 17-4. They outshot Bottineau again in the second 11-6. And in the second, Minot High unhooked the plow, to say the least. Jake Tice scored. 1:55 in, Gabe Thongfett and Sam Bassett assisted. Then Bonebrink scored. That was on a power play goal for the Magi. I'm sorry, yes, it was a power play goal for Bonebrink. Then another power play goal right after that from Casey Field, his second of the night. Opperud and Luck had the assists on that one. And then Ian Amsbaugh came back and brought it back within 3 at that point. Amsbaugh from Bieberdorf. And then Minot High got back on the board with Gabe Thongfett. Even strength goal for the last 2. Total shots through 2 periods, 28-10. Minot High is leading that category. And the shots resemble the score as well. The Magi lead 6-2. Here come the Magi back to the ice. We'll take one more break on our premier chiropractic intermission report. When we come back, we'll have our third and final frame from the Pepsi rink tonight. It's North Dakota High School hockey here on the PSP Network. It's been a fun one so far. The final 17 probably won't disappoint.
The magic of what we do really comes down to combining different aspects of patient care. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we love combining soft tissue work, the adjustment, and exercises together. We found that this gets the best results for our patients. We have 3 chiropractors to fit the needs of the entire family, a rehab area for our exercises and equipment, for any athlete to improve performance. Give us a call and we will get you back to doing what you love.
Kenny Loggins, highway into the danger zone, plays inside of the Pepsi rink. That one doesn't fire up. I don't know what will. Nick Holberg and Matt Morelli for the call here on the PSP Network tonight. Sure appreciate you folks for joining us for a good one tonight on the PSP Network. Matt, you have a major key for both teams entering this third period of play here tonight.
Well, I think if you're Bottineau, they just want to get some momentum going, win the period for them. They got a couple big games coming up. Why not play smart here? You got a comfortable lead. A goal or 2 wouldn't be bad for insurance, but just, be smart with the puck. Don't have any bad turnovers.
Out to center, here come the Braves. Head forward, Amsbaugh's in with it. Amsbaugh to his forehand, put it on net. Oh, Sortland stoned him. Second opportunity on the breakaway tonight for Amsbaugh. His third opportunity on the breakaway tonight, and Sortland now has the advantage. 2 for 3, tipped in front. That one, high riser over the head of Sortland. It went wide. Puck comes back away down the near wing. Puck's going to be sent towards the net. Sortland tried to glove it. Knocked down. Opperud's got it here. Riley Opperud's going to fire this one all the way down. Roller goes just to the left of Tyler Olson. And a stop of the play. That icing brought to you by our friends at Clean Tech. Clean Tech coming to the rescue since 1992. 24/7 disaster response and restoration services at Clean Tech.
Big save by Sortland there. Like Fear said, if you're Minot, don't give Amsbaugh any open ice at all. I don't know why we're pinching and giving up those 2-on-1s. You can't do that.
This is a team that will make you pay for it. I know I sound like a broken record, but again, I've got Bottineau. I still believe that Bottineau might be the 4th team, one of the 4 teams out of the West region to represent the WDA at the state tournament, or the top 8 in North Dakota. Williston's got to be in that conversation. Bismarck High is always good, but I think at this point it's fair to say Jamestown, Century, and Minot are the favorites. Then again, this year, don't get me wrong, Minot High can win the West region. They could win the regular season. They could win the tournament, or they might not even make the tournament here in 2021. That's how tight this horse race is. And all bets, you might as well somebody is going to come out happy and somebody's not when it's all said and done, because it really is anybody's game.
All the games are going to be closer this last week and a half.
WDA tournament, by the way, PSP Network did our best to obtain the video rights for the WDA tournament. Not going to happen with NSHSF Network hosting those broadcast rights. So you get to watch that with no commentary, unfortunately.
Can't even do the audio on.
Well, we'll see what we can do. We'll be able to do radio coverage for you, or digital radio coverage. We'll have every game of that tournament, every game at the WDA hockey tournament. But unfortunately, we are unable to do video. We tried our best for you. Puck's going to be taken here. It's out of the net. It comes. It's going to be worked back away to Bissett. The no audio comment was in regards to the NSHSF network over on the far side with their stationary camera on the far side boards. Down to the corner, the puck is going to be worked back away. Comes back into the possession here. Esslinger's down to the ice. Off comes Sortland, delayed call coming here on the Braves. Minot High's got a extended power play here with the extra attacker up. Puck's going to be touched there by the Braves, and now an interference will be called, and for the third time tonight, Minot High goes to the power play, this time with 14:42 left in the third period.
Well, it's good pressure by Minot. I mean, I said you keep grinding away, moving your feet down there in the corners and trying to make something happen. You're bound to draw some penalties, interference, holdings, hookings. And I mean, that's Minot will take that. You're drawing penalties in the third period. That means you're still getting aggressive, which they should be aggressive.
A minor penalty has been called at 2 minutes and 18 seconds of period number 3.
Here's Pete Stenberg on the call.
Number 3, Riley Bieberdorf. 2 minutes interference at 2:18.
Bieberdorf's in the box on the interference call. Magi power play comes back to the ice surface. Side of the net. Oh, Swagstu is on the doorstep. Couldn't get a handle on it. Puck is fired down in on Trey Sortland, and off to the corner it goes. Back in behind the cage, we start the rush back the other way. Oproot up to center. Got it to Morelli. Back over now to Oproot. Into the zone they come. Casey Field with 2 goals tonight takes it down to the corner. He started the scoring tonight for the Magi. And one of the second. Now Oproot at the line, who's got 1 point tonight. Dropped it back over off to Swagstu. And Swagstu sends it out of the zone. And now Oproot's back on the retrieve in his own territory. Crosses back in over the stripe.
Minot's got to get better with their passing on the power play. You got a guy wide open. His Oproot's point partner is wide open over there. Just hit him over there. All you got to do is make a hard pass across the blue line. You're trying to go back to the traffic on the sidewall. It's like don't start getting in bad habits now when you're on the power play. Make things simple. You got the advantage. You got a lot more. You got the extra guy out there. But come on, I mean that's they're making. There's a couple of bad passes on the power play.
That power play remains with 51 seconds. With 13:31 left in the third. 6-2 on the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard here tonight. Mesa Arena holding around 2,400 at max capacity. Nowhere near that tonight, but this is probably the best crowd we've seen for high school hockey on the year. I would guess there's probably 500 in here tonight, Matt, or close to, if not more. This side, away from the camera view on this side of the ice surface, is a lot more full than the opposite side. The bar seating all the way around the top on this side is full.
Might be a little bit more than 500.
Good crowd tonight. We had high school basketball on the PSP Network last night. Dunseith was at Bishop Ryan.
Packed.
It was pretty full. There was the attendance there around 390 is what it maxes out at. And inside the Lions Den, which holds around 700 to 800. And that's where the fire marshal's got to come in to take care of business. It still felt pretty full in there last night. Bishop Ryan, number 10 in the state of North Dakota for Class B basketball, got knocked off by Dunseith last night. 57-42 into the offensive zone. Down they come. Here's a drive out in front to Olsen Stonehill. That was Gabe Thongfett. Works it across the line, trying to go back over and out of the box. Here comes Amsbaugh. He's in with it. Amsbaugh will turn and fire. And again, Sortland made the stop and hang on tight. Trey Sortland didn't like that. Here comes Riley Oproot. Hall's in there as well. And Amsbaugh crashing hard towards the net, trying to get the extra one on Trey Sortland. Trey didn't like it, neither did the captain, Riley Opperud.
Well, it's the same thing we were saying. Minot's on the power play, and they're making such bad decisions. I think we had one shot on that power play. You've got to do better than that. You're going against Bottineau. I don't care who it is, but you've got to have more than one shot on a power play. Same thing. Bottineau kills it off, and the puck ends up in Amsbaugh's hands. You can't have that. Thank God he fanned on that shot, because he didn't get nearly what he wanted on that one.
Well, and here's the other side of that tale, and the other caveat to the conversation, and that's that this game's not over yet. 12:29 left. There's plenty of time for Bottineau left in this hockey game. Amsbaugh took a little shot there from Esslinger at the end of the play, and Amsbaugh took exception to that. He didn't like Kelton Esslinger getting into him at the end of that play either. You don't blame him. Good look at Ian Amsbaugh. In your mind, does he have the makeup to go on to the next level? Obviously, some junior team would be happy to have him, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's got a good skill set. He's going to move on somewhere.
North American League probably is where a good fit for Amsbaugh, maybe. Look out, this one's going to be dumped down in. Puck's wrapped around the near side wall, back out to center.
Nice play by Trey. A real heads up, just get it out of the zone. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but if you remind that their best penalty killers have to be out there. Take your chances and you use them the whole time, because don't give Bottineau any life right now.
Here comes Amsbaugh. He's the one that could generate that life. He goes coast to coast. What a play here. Took it down. Upended at the last minute by Tyson. Now Amsbaugh works it back up top. Into the center slot he goes. Shifted down to the corner. Back up to Amsbaugh. Side of the cage over to the near side now for Rosendahl. It came. Back away underneath. Now this is Getzloff that goes to work on it. Back up to Amsbaugh. Morelli trying to dive in front of that one. Comes down to the corners. Bone break. Stick check to Amsbaugh on the play. Comes back away now underneath the net. Amsbaugh's got it again. Sends it out in front. Comes all the way back up. Here's the drive coming. Loose in front. Getzloff turns it towards the net. Sortland made the save. Back trying to tuck it inside of the cage. Hang on tight. Look out. Amsbaugh right there along with Bone break. The boys are going to be boys, and they continue as Amsbaugh crashing hard on the side of the net. Sortland not impressed with that situation either.
He made a nice save on that shot from the point. That's what you got to do. He needs to be the best penalty killer right now for Minot. So far, it's like he's not rattled, and he's robbed Amsbaugh a couple times, but that's what you need. That's what's going to build the Minot's penalty killer's confidence here, is knowing he's making some big saves for him.
Well, Trey's been good tonight for the Magi. He has seen 15. He's given up 2 in the hockey game here tonight, but again, those 2 that he's going against, I know I sound like a broken record, but I mean, geez, Pete, the kid scored 65 last year and led the entire state in scoring. Back in behind the net it comes. Rybczynski's back there grinding for it. Oh, big hit. Jaden Luck was railed. Bieberdorf and Rybczynski tag team him. That was like the Legion of Doom from the WWE.
That could have been head contact. He got him up high.
Rybczynski's out to center. Power play's done for the Braves. And Bonnet High's kills it off. Taken there by Thongfett, and he'll just launch this one like a UFO, 200 feet. There's no icing on the play.
Not sure why that one wasn't icing, but mine will take it.
Nostal, head coach of Bottineau, had the same conversation. Now the other way it comes. And an icing charged here on the Braves. That one brought to you by our friends at Magic City Inspections. Find them online, MonitoInspections.com. They help you take the next step in your home ownership. Big thank you to them. We also want to say thank you to our friends at Beaupre Law Firm. Connected to our community, your estate planning and business law attorneys at Beaupre Law Firm. Proud supporters of North Dakota High School athletics. Former Minot High captain Garrett Pickard in the house tonight. I believe that's him standing up on the rail. Captain of the 2015 state title team for the Magi. Down to the corner it comes as Morelli's down low, scrubbing for it. Comes back up to the near side wing. Amsbaugh scrubbing here. Bottineau's a team of the year that has been outshot on average 34-28 on most given nights. That's the average on the season. They've outscored their opponents, however, 3.6 to 3.25 goals per game. Sent out in front by Swagstu, couldn't pull the trigger. Moenbrink trying to close the gap on Amsbaugh. Two of them went after him. He avoids the check, and now Amsbaugh's in the corner. Met there by Morelli again underneath. Scrum continues down low. Casey Fields going to be the one after it over at the half boards. 9:10 left in the third period. Minot High scored 2 in the first, 4 in the second. 1-1 for the Braves in the first and the second period. And Minot High leads this one 6-2 as the Magi try to track down their 11th region win of the year. Bottineau trying to come back tonight and pick up region win number 7.
Oh, Minot's got to finish those checks. The Bottineau defensemen are fumbling the puck, and Minot's just sweep checking. It's like we're saying, it's communication. You got two guys going over to Amsbaugh on the wall over there, and he side swipes that check. Just talk until one or the other's got to take him. It's not real complicated hockey. It's just man on man.
Dumped down from center. Things are starting to get a bit chippy now. Riley Oprud and Amsbaugh have had a love-hate relationship, to say the least, for the last 2 years, maybe 3 now for Bottineau and Minot High. They had some words at the end of that last play. They both went off for a shift change. It's out of the cage. It comes down. Esslinger's got it again. He'll turn and fire. Oh, Tyler also was screened. Esslinger shot it over the net. It hit the dasher back in behind the Bottineau netminder. And then the puck went up and out of play. Well, those matchups like that, Oprud against Amsbaugh, that extra element, the game with inside the game. When you go back to 2011-ish, that time frame when your son Mason played for Minot High, Quinn Fuchs for the Magi used to absolutely go to war with Harrison Aid each and every night. And those battles sometimes, I'm telling you, were that in itself. I know they're high school kids, but knowing them both on a personal level, the war that was within the war was unbelievable, or the battle within the war was unbelievable.
Well, you got to love seeing that. It's just this competition, and both guys want to win bad, and they will do anything they can as long as nobody's getting hurt. It's just, I think it adds an element to the game where it's great to see. It's the spirit of competition, but it's I think they like to get it done. If guys will get under each other's skin, and sometimes you go overboard, yeah. But I think it's both guys, no matter where it is. And it definitely makes the game interesting for sure.
Well, into the sin bin. Another power play coming here for the Magi is into the box on a 2-minute roughing call. We'll go Mason Heisler. By the way, we talk about the 92 points for Harrison Aid his senior year. Quinn Fuchs wasn't too bad his senior year. He had 68. Fuchsy ended up with 158 points all time for the Magi in 79 games played for the Magicians. Monster hit there as Morelli got into Amsbaugh. There's your hit of the game, and this place comes to volume. Morelli says, "Welcome to the jungle." Amsbaugh breaks his stick at center, still has the broken stick in his hand. Here comes the call now.
He's having a tough shift.
Yes, he is.
He got pasted at the blue line. Then he's looking to go get somebody, and he breaks his stick, chopping one of the Minot defensemen. So kind of a tough 30 seconds for Amsbaugh, but he'll be back. He's when you're that good, you can't keep those guys down forever.
Mom and Dad are probably the ones that are more disappointed with that shift than anybody. There goes $325 on the new Easton.
Well, that's it's just the way it is. But Minot's just got to keep doing what they're doing. Don't do anything stupid. You got a lot of good big games coming up. So.
Well, the student section's here tonight. They're on their feet saluting Ian Amsbaugh.
I don't know if that's a salute or just to kind of make him more upset, but either way, we'll say salute in a nice way.
Salute is a polite term, possibly. Under 7 left here in the third. There's no rabbits on the ice here tonight, which we didn't see any up at the Lumberdome either, but in Jamestown there was a rabbit on the ice for the first time in a few years. Sounded like it didn't come out of the plastic bag, however. Down low it comes.
They're always good for 1 or 2 every time Minot's up there.
5-on-3 power play for 1:04, by the way. Minot High works it around with Morelli, sent it up, and a nice play there, getting in front of that one for the Braves was Landon Rosendahl.
Well, if you're Minot, you don't have to be fancy. Just put pucks on net, tee it up from the middle, and have guys crash in the net that are coming from the side. Minot, you got 5-on-3 for another 45 seconds. Let's take advantage of it and get another insurance one here.
Here's Morelli at the point, dropped it down over the lock, back up top, Opera down a tee. He shoots and scores. Well, that was a howitzer from the line, and he kept it down. He beat Tyler Olson on the blocker's side down low, and the power play goal has the Magi up 7-2.
Nice thing for Minot, they're still in the power play for another minute, so getting good habits, get the puck moving around. And your power play's been hot tonight. I think that's their Minot's third power play goal, so they're getting some good looks on the power play tonight.
Let's listen in on the scoring.
A power play goal at 10 minutes and 53 seconds in period number 2. Scored by number 21, Riley Opera. Assisted by number 11, Jake Luck, and number 19, Aiden Morelli. That's Opera from Luck and Morelli. Power play goal at 10 minutes and 53 seconds.
Not sure what's going on down on the benches there, but it's getting a little heated up there between the coaches. So let's keep an eye on that. I mean, you hate to see that, but I mean, sometimes when you have lopsided games like that, if the players, sometimes the frustration goes beyond the players, and there's no love lost. Minot hates Bottineau, and Bottineau hates Minot. So is there some of that with the coaches too? It sure looks like it.
John Grubb still continuing to talk it over, and Jesse Dostal pointing up at the board. They're not done yet. You don't see John Grubb coming unglued very often, Matt. He's a guy that holds his respect in the state of North Dakota pretty highly for what he was able to do with his hockey career and his coaching career. Jesse Dostal in his second year here for Bottineau, continuing to talk it over with the officials here. And boy, things are a little carried away now, maybe you could say, here in this third period. Back out in front, puck's going to be taken and fired all the way down and behind Trey Sortland.
Well, I guess if you're Minot, there's no better way to put an exclamation point on there is just keep pouring it on. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't do anything stupid. We don't need to lose any guys for the next game or have anybody get hurt.
Old school WDA matchup here tonight. Coaches are even on it tonight. Tuesday night, North Dakota, nothing better. Field backdoor. Oh, Luck had it on the back doorstep. Fired it on, and now Olson's going to make the stop. This one's not done yet. Bieberdorf and Oprud having a conversation. Well, you don't mind to see it. 24 seconds left on the power play. Ian Absbaugh still in the box. You don't mind to see it. At the same time, you hope the cooler heads maybe prevail and we get out of here without any major incidents.
Well, you're the coaching staff. You have to. You're the mentors and the role models out there. Like, keep it cool. Don't do anything stupid. And like I said, we don't need to lose anybody. And players, sportsmanship goes a long way in sports.
Big hit by Rybczynski on the near side. He said Sam was set for a ride. Minot High's got their fourth unit out there. Schuster with a big hit on the near side wing. Puck is freed back across, and Freeman sends it down. Minot High in the dump and chase, and here comes Absbaugh out. Big hit on the near side wing. Rybczynski with a big hit. Things are getting carried away now on the near side wing. There's a full-on scrum about to brew up here on the near side. And there's punches being thrown here right inside the blue line. Well, that one was starting to brew like a North Dakota thunderstorm. Landon Helseth at the bottom of the pile with Rybczynski. I tell you what, I don't know if Rybczynski's a kid that I'd want to mess with. He's got some weight and some size to him. Eric Steele right in the middle of that pile. And here comes Rybczynski to the sin bin. Helseth's going to end up in the sin bin, I believe, for the Magi. Sorry, that's 12 for the Magicians instead. That's Eli Hansen to the box. Helseth was in on it, however, 13 and 12. Roughing and roughing. It's an old school one tonight, isn't it? 7-2 is the score, 4:49 left.
Well, like I said, refs got to keep in control here. You can dish out some penalties, get the settle the guys down. Losing your head out here towards the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game isn't the answer. Just play it smart. You don't need to be having worse things happen than it already is.
In on the draw at neutral ice, Hamsbaugh's out. Fired it ahead forward, bouncer comes back. Gabe Thong fence in the retrieve again, moved it away to the near side. Now Schuster's up over center with it. Schuster had the hit on the near side wing, but the puck is going to be free and sent back in. Big hit there. Big hit back in the defensive zone. That one off the screen. Look out, there's a lot of running around going on right now. Big hit in the corner again. Thong fed, Beaverdorf's in there. And this one turned it into an all-out slugfest tonight.
Oh, Minot's not being very smart right now. You're taking those extra 5-6 steps to make a hit. You're taking yourself right out of the play. That's such an easy call for a referee. Minot's like, don't lose your head. You got the lead. It's looking like we'll hang on, but Minot's got to be smarter than that.
Matt Olson's going to be ejected from the hockey game for a face masking call coming up here. Well, this one has gotten carried away here tonight. This one more like a rivalry game from back in your playing days, back in the late 80s, Matt.
Wow, I was going to say more like maybe the days of John Willard. Back in the first days of Minot hockey, but it's like you're kind of ruining a good game with all these penalties. I mean, it's been a good game for Minot. Bottineau hasn't been one of their better nights, but this is kind of a black eye when it's having all these penalties at the end of the game late last, and there's still 4.5 minutes to play.
Both captains at the referee circle with a conversation. And now Knutsen's going to be done for the Magi. Morelli and Hamsbaugh still talking out. Well, when you get the coaches jarring on the bench to start the whole altercation, a lot of times that's what you'll see. 4:20 left here in the third. And the referees have done a good job tonight. They've let them play here at North Dakota High School hockey game where a lot of times we knock those guys for calling too many penalties. And tonight, the mediators of this 51-minute war maybe didn't mediate enough where they should have been. I'm not saying that. Here's what I'm saying, is that let me just retract my statement completely. I want to let them go. Let's just start over. Let's just leave it at, I think they've done a good job here tonight. But towards the end of this third period, what do you do? If you're the officials, let's go that route.
Well, I'm sure if the referee's going to tell these teams, listen, you better play it cool here, otherwise they're going to start kicking guys out, and you'll be sitting the next game. Kind of like in baseball, the umpire warns them and says any more bean balls and you're going to be suspension or thrown out of the game. It's like, come on, Minot's in control of the game. There's no question they're the better team tonight. It's like, let's not do anything to make things worse. You just make things worse. You're just prolonging the suffering for Bottineau. And like you said, when you start getting heated on the bench between coaches, that's even worse, because that's what the coaches and referees are the ones that need to be the calm and coolest ones out of everybody out here.
Well, Matt Olson was ejected from the hockey game on a face masking call, I believe is what the call was. If that's the case, will he get to play against Century coming up in the next matchup? Bottineau without Matt Olson against Century on home ice is not a good situation.
One thing in hockey you have to remember, you can get out, play some physical play and have a couple of cheap shots here and there if you want to get somebody, but grabbing another player's face mask is just not something you do. You're ejected every time. That's such an easy call for a referee. You just can't put your hand on somebody's face mask.
Face off in the offensive zone for the Braves. 5 goals is the difference with 4:20 left here. I don't want to say it's over, and it's not over till the fat lady sings, but she's pretty well warmed up in the Zam room right about now, I'd have to think. However, She could go back to her car in a quick hurry if Amsbaugh and company can pot a couple quick ones. Puck's going to be dumped back in behind Olsen.
If you're Minot, don't take any chances. Just fire it down. What do we have left to prove tonight? You're already up plenty. Just get it out of the zone. Let's keep. Trey's played well, made some big saves when he has to. Let's not let him down with a couple cheap ones.
Amsbaugh's got it at the line. He works it across. He goes to the blocker's side and takes it down. Sent to the front. Opportunity there, but nobody home. This one rifled down the length of the ice. And down it comes, back in behind. Tyler Olsen who left it back in behind the net. We're down to 3:28 left in the third. A minute 7 remaining on the power play. And here's the call down for Pete Stenberg. Bottineau ended up with a power play out of that. Keeping track at home. Here you go.
Face mask. 5 minutes plus a game misconduct. Also, Bottineau rugby skater number 26, Riley Tummy. 2 minutes interference. And 5 minutes for game misconduct or abuse of an official.
Abuse of an official is the call. In that 5-minute face basket. Knutson was the one that was called that's serving that penalty right now. The 2 minutes on the clock. This puck's going to be shot all the way down the length of the ice.
Well, if you're Bottineau, the guys that got ejected, you better hope they're not out for the next game because they don't have and that's some of their better guys, and they got some big games coming up. As I said, what are you trying to prove? It doesn't do any good.
Here's Luck that intercepted, put it to the side of the net. He was denied there by Olsen. Schuster's out of the box. Magi are at full strength. Tice back in behind the net. Now it's Amsbaugh that's going to go to work for it. Amsbaugh's going to come out with it. Sends it out in front. Oh, that one sent to the corner and wide. Back to Gabe Thongfett. Shuffled up off the glass. Luck trying to clear. He does. Tice with Luck. 3-on-2 into the zone. Sent across. Luck sent it in. Olsen made the save. 1 minute, 45 seconds left in the third. Down it comes. Those poor officials. I just bang on them all the time for calling too many penalties. Tonight they let it go a little bit. And then I say they don't call it up. You just can't win.
It wasn't that bad. They just got a little out of hand there at that little stretch there where it was back and forth with the penalties. And I think they let them play for the most part, but you have, when you starts getting chippy, you have to come down hard on guys.
Into the offensive zone. Here's a drive coming. Bissett fired one in. Loose right inside. It comes off the Bottineau player. Bissett's going to get credit with the goal. And Sam Bissett's on the board for the Magi, picking up his second of the year. Eight to 2, the Magi lead, and now it's run time with a 6-goal differential.
Probably hasn't happened run time against Bottineau for quite a while.
It's been a while. All time, the Magi against the Braves. Minot High. There's the official call. Minot High holds that lifetime series. In the last 7 years, Minot High has gone 8-1 on home ice against Bottineau. At the Lumberdome, they've gone 8-4. Final 24 seconds of the contest tonight. Puck is going to be sent up the near side wing. Trying to clear on the Magi. Dumped in on Sortland. He leaves it back in behind for Jackson Bradley. All right, kids, cut him down. We're at 10 seconds. Magi tried to clear the zone. They will. They shuffle it all the way down. Let's go to our Pro Style Production DJ Services postgame show here tonight. The Magi get the win. Region win number 11. Plenty to talk about here tonight as we'll break it down when we come back. Final on the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard again tonight is 8-2. The Magi get the region win over Bottineau. Teams will salute each other at center, and that's how it ends tonight. Matt and I will come back and tell you how we got to this outcome. 8-2 the final. It's North Dakota High School hockey here on the PSP Network.
Life is all about moments. Big moments, small moments, and those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
The magic of what we do really comes down to combining different aspects of patient care. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we love combining soft tissue work, the adjustment, and exercises together. We found that this gets the best results for our patients. We have 3 chiropractors to fit the needs of the entire family, a rehab area for our exercises and equipment for any athlete to improve performance. Give us a call and we will get you back to doing what you love.
The 30-inch galactic pizza is out of this world. There's nothing like it anywhere else in Minot. Too much to handle? Try one of our famous large specialty pizzas like the Blue Buffalo. Get the best pizza in Minot and play some laser tag at Planet Pizza, South Broadway, Minot.
If you told me 10 years ago I'd be a dad, homeowner, and business partner, I wouldn't have believed it. There's lots of reasons I chose First Western.
Hey Lloyd, how are you today?
Locally owned, community invested, convenient, but most of all, whatever I need, wherever I am, I can count on them.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
This presentation on the PSP Network. This presentation on the PSP Network is brought to you by Bottineau Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires Plus, Minot's Finest Collision Center, United Agronomy, the Minot Hockey Boosters, Morelli's Distributing, Planet Pizza, Century Eyewear, First Western Bank and Trust, the UPS Store, Qdoba, and Arbo Photography.
Life is all about moments. Big moments, small moments, and those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
Well, we talked about it being a good one tonight. Dubbed it as a war coming in, and that's kind of what we ended up having here tonight at the Pepsi Rink Mesa Arena. A war that Minot High outlasted Bottineau and won 8-2 tonight. Nick Holberg and Matt Morelli for the call, and the Pro Style Production DJ Services post-game show. Pro Style Production DJ Services, let the pros handle it. Talk to us about our money-back guarantee for your wedding or special event. ProStyleProduction.com. Well, 8-2 is the final tonight. This one had plenty and some game ejections at the end. Unfortunate news up here in the box. Sounds like, up in the press box, sounds like Matt Olson will be done for the next one for Bottineau after his game ejection in the third period tonight. That is an absolute game changer for Bottineau, heading to a 6-point night against Century coming up on their home ice later this week. Matt, your thoughts on this hockey game? Saw a little bit of everything, including a Magicians team that broke loose for their second most points in scoring of the year, second to that blowout against Hayes and Beulah earlier on in the year where they won 9-0.
Well, we knew it would be more. We thought it'd be higher scoring than up in Bottineau, but I didn't think it would be a 8-2. Where I think there was those power plays that Minot I think had at least 3 tonight, which really made a difference. So they had 2 right away in that second period that were back-to-back power plays, and I think Bottineau got down. They just couldn't recover. They couldn't make enough plays in their own end. They had trouble getting it out of their zone. When they were getting out, it was just firing it off the boards or looking for a long pass, and they would misfire, and it'd be an icing on them. And Minot just started to finally get warmed up and take advantage of their chances. They they've got probably some lucky breaks. I mean, the first period they should have had 3 or 4 more goals. They had some grade A chances they just didn't score on. But I think Minot kind of made them pay for some of those miscues they had in the third period, and then I think Bottineau just got real frustrated. It started with our coaching staff, and then it just kind of filtered out onto the ice with some of these penalties. And it kind of wrecks the game a little bit, takes away from the excitement of Minot taking it to them tonight. You like to see Minot get some. They're getting frustrated, and the team's getting chippy. You got to take a deep breath and keep your cool.
100%. That was definitely a big part towards the end of the contest here tonight. A matchup that saw plenty of scoring, 10 total, and plenty of penalties in that third period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total penalties in that third period, where in the first there was 3, in the second there was 2, and then 9 in the third. It got a little carried away there at the end, without a doubt. Time for our game reset, brought to you by our friends at the UPS store of Minot, located in the Marketplace Plaza. Open 6 days a week for all your packing and shipping needs. The UPS store. We also want to thank Magic City Inspections, helping you with your home buying process. MinotInspections.com. We also want to thank Tires Plus, all brands under one roof with the guaranteed lowest prices and service after the sale with the Tires Plus plan. And of course, Clean Tech, coming to the rescue since 1992. All right, here we go. Let's break down the hockey game tonight in the game reset. Casey Field scored first tonight, 7:41 of the first period. On the year for Casey Field, that was goal number 8. That's a team high. Landon Rosendahl fired back for Bottineau, and Rosendahl picks up his 10th goal of the year. Rosendahl on the season doing a great job, number 2 in scoring for Bottineau. Ian Absbaum, their leading point getter, assisted on the play. So did Colton Getzlaff. Then Bryce Hall, with 10 seconds left in the first, took the lead back. His second of the year, assisted by Aiden Morelli and Casey Field. Into the second, we would go. All those goals, by the way, even strength. Into the second, we would go. Jake Tice scored. Gabe Thongfett and Sam Bissett would assist. That was Tice's second of the season. And then Ben Bonebrake picked up one of his own. And Bonebrake went on assist a goal, his third of the year. Then Casey Field scored. 7:56, time of that goal. Riley Opperud assisted, so did Jaden Luck. Then guess who? Ian Absbaum brought it back within 3. Bieberdorf assisted on it. And then Gabe Thongfett scored at 8:43 left in the period. Into the third we went, and Riley Opperud gets on the board. A hard slap shot on the power play from Jaden Luck and Aiden Morelli. And then Sam Bissett had an unassisted even strength goal to bring the score to 8-2 as a final tonight. Final shots on goal, 32-15. Saves in the hockey game, 24 for Olsen, 13 for the goaltender Sortland here tonight. Power plays in the hockey game. Minot High ended up with 5 power play opportunities. They had 3 power play goals. Bottineau ended up with 2 power plays. They didn't score on the man advantage here tonight. We'll come back with our players of the game, and we'll wrap it up here tonight as Minot High gets the victory, 8-2 on the First International Bank and Trust scoreboard here tonight. When we come back, we'll put a cap on it with our Minot's Finest Collision Center stars of the game. The Magi win tonight in a rough one down the stretch.
Life is all about moments. Big moments. Small moments. And those moments you can't put into words. It's how we at First International Bank and Trust live first and have been for more than 110 years. One customer, one family, one moment at a time. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
The magic of what we do really comes down to combining different aspects of patient care. Here at Premier Chiropractic, we love combining soft tissue work, the adjustment, and exercises together. We found that this gets the best results for our patients. We have 3 chiropractors to fit the needs of the entire family, a rehab area for our exercises and equipment for any athlete to improve performance. Give us a call and we will get you back to doing what you love.
to McFall on the ice. Resurfacing machine, the Zamboni here at Pepsi Rink at Mesa Arena as we put a cap on an 8-2 victory tonight for the Magi over the Bottineau Rugby Braves. Minot High improves to a record of 11-2 on the year. Bottineau falls to 6-7. Minot High moves back into first place inside the WDA, but the dust isn't settled yet. It's going to come down to the wire in these next 4 games for everybody across Western North Dakota. Time for our players of the game, brought to you by Minot's Finest Collision Center. We are Minot's Finest, 839-0989, helping you get back onto the road safely with your family and the safety of your vehicle put first here tonight. Well, plenty of guys we could talk about for our players of the game. When you look at the list of guys that did good things in this contest here tonight, Tice got on the board. Bonebrake got on the board tonight. Gabe Thongfett got on the board. Sam Bassett was on the board. Some unusual suspects in the hockey game. And then, of course, some of the usual suspects. Amsbaugh, 3-point night tonight. 2-point night tonight for Amsbaugh. 2-point night tonight for Amsbaugh. Getzloff had a good night, I thought, for Bottineau. Sortland was good for Minot High. Sortland ended up with some big-time stops. He only stopped 15, but some of those opportunities were big ones. But I think tonight, my 3 that I would like to go with would be Gabe Thongfett back on the blue line with a goal tonight, shutting down Amsbaugh for the most part. He did a good job in my mind. Right there, with that whole defensive back end for Minot High, that top line could be in this conversation. We're going to give it to Thongfett. Morelli with 2 assists tonight. He really was shut down against Amsbaugh as they had the matchup head-to-head tonight, and Morelli, a lot of line matching there, and I thought that he did a great job in this hockey game tonight. Then Casey Field, how do you argue with the game winner? 2 goals and 1 assist here tonight for Casey Field. Actually wasn't the game winner, but he had a 3-point night and led the Magicians in scoring. Any argument with Field, Morelli, and Gabe Thongfett tonight?
No, I think you're right on there. I mean, Minot's going to have to keep getting production from your top guys. The other guys chip in. That's just a bonus. Your top 2 lines are going to match up with the other guys' best guys, and there was some good physical play. I think when Minot plays physical, they wear those teams down. They have this quickness and the speed. You put that physical play on there, and some of those top guys like Amsbaugh, they don't like that. I mean, after a while, that wears on them. And I think if Minot can play like that the whole game, you saw a couple nice hits, some good clean hits out there. And sure, there was some chippy play during the towards later in the game, and that's going to happen when the score gets to be a 5-6 goal differential. But if you're Minot, okay, take this, enjoy it tonight, and then get ready for the next one come Thursday. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Don't think it's going to be point night in Hazen, because that's when you start getting in bad habits. Guys start doing the fundamentals and thinking of individual things. That's not what it's all about. You're going to have to play a team game, because come Saturday, same thing. Then you have a road game. You're on the road for 2. Then you have 1 more here to finish up against Wilson. Wilson's probably they're going to have to do some hard thinking too, because they're getting beat bad by their last game isn't going to sit well with them either, and they're going to have some tough practices and say we better get with it here, because we still have a chance to finish in the top 4.
Yeah, Jamestown 7-1 last night against Williston, a score that in Williston's defense sounded like they've been on the shelf for a little while, battling some health issues and things like that, COVID-related stuff. Is my understanding they were without Ekblad last night. That certainly doesn't help the cause by any means in a matchup like last night. 8-2 is the final. Minot High again improves to 11-2, falling for the Braves now to 6-7 on the year. Matt, we appreciate your time tonight. Fun calling the game with you. We won't have another Minot High hockey game on the air until Williston next Tuesday night, a week from here.
All right. You ready?
Sure appreciate you. It was fun calling the game with you.
Anytime.
As always tonight. Special thanks to you, the fans, for stopping in tonight, enjoying North Dakota high school hockey. Special thanks to Jesse Dostal, head coach of the Braves, joining us in the pregame show. Jason Bennett, who joined us in the pregame show tonight. Special thanks to Travis Rybczynski and Jordan Willard. Nick Holbrook signing off from the Pepsi Rink tonight. All Magi here tonight, 8-2 the final. They take care of the Braves from Bottineau until Thursday night when Minot High takes on Century at Minot High School for high school basketball. Please have a good night, and God bless.
This presentation of the PSP Network is brought to you by Bolt Pre-Law Firm, Clean Tech, 701 Realty, Magic City Inspections, First International Bank and Trust, Height Construction, Premier Movement, Premier Chiropractic, Subway, Tires